We go online every class.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean they can't see your face though.
Yeah, I didn't want
Jesus is real, but you devils taught lies on Christ. So many lies that when we come with the truth, people think that the lies is the truth and that the truth is the lie. Who changed the truth for God into a lie? In English, Jesus Christ, in Hebrew, is Yahweh Shai. So do or die. The immaculate conception is deception, along with the myth of giving gifts on December 25th. Christmas is Satan's clause, the birth of Nimrod, and not the son of God. To you was kind of odd. On the Passover, Christ was born in the spring. So now we bring the truth about the King of Kings. That's Black Jesus and not Caesar Borgias. And the facts can't be changed. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. Hebrew Israelites, Kwam Yasha. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High.
All right, go to Oh, all right. Let me touch on this, and then we're gonna touch on a few scriptures for you. Shalom, brothers and sisters. Welcome to class with the Israelite School of Biblical History Practical Knowledge. All right, we're gonna do like we always do. We're gonna go ahead and answer questions. I'm gonna get these little updates out, and then we're gonna get right into this question we have. If you don't know, we're at 8524 South Braeswood. We have classes here in Houston, Texas, at Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Mondays and Wednesdays from 7 to 10. Fridays from 6 to 9. And then Shabbat morning classes from 10 to 2. We also have classes at San Antonio, Texas, 4219 Centergate Street, San Antonio, Texas. And that's 78217. We have classes in Albuquerque. And we're working on classes in Trinidad also. If y'all have any questions outside the class, my number's 281-707-2737. You feel free to hit me up, text me anytime. We answer questions all the time. All right. Let's see what I got here. Of course, everybody knows by now. We've been working hard on the Passover. It's Sunday. A lot of sisters, brothers are working on that, getting that together. And it's going to be fun. If you want to join us for the Passover, feel free to join us. People ask, how much does it cost? It's free. Unity and brotherhood's free. It's 5475A. West Sam Houston Parkway, and that's North Houston, Texas, 77042. All right. It's going to be this Sunday. We did it on that day, so everybody that is off, you can come join us and celebrate the High Holy Day, Brotherhood, the Holy Convocation. All right. What else I got on here? Okay. Please check out our blog talk. Priest Mashaba does a blog talk radio. It's blogtalkradio.com/Mashaba, and it's Monday through Friday at 9:30 p.m. At 9:30 a.m. Excuse me. If y'all want to check that out, he goes into a lot of topics. All right. Also, our radio show, we're going to be airing in Houston. It's the Hidden Truth radio show. It's airing the 3rd, and that's April 3rd from 5 to 7 every Tuesday on Street 93.3 Global Radio. So we're trying to do our part and get the word out. If you brothers and sisters want to support, we would appreciate that. Listen in. I'm sure you're going to be able to call in and ask questions. And if y'all have any topics that y'all want to hit on, feel free to hit me up, text me. My number's 281-707-2737. text me, and then we'll go over those topics. What else we got here? Kids class, of course, will be starting back next week, next Sunday. We've postponed it because of the Passover. And check us out online, ISBHPK on YouTube or isbhpk.org. We got a lot of information on there. And then if you want to donate, you want to give any alms or anything, the information will be on the screen. Also, we'd like to thank y'all, brothers and sisters, that have donated and have given to everything we're doing. So we're starting out with questions. So we're going to answer sister's question we got in here and go right into that. And then if y'all don't have any questions online, then we're going to go into class. So go to, and when you talk about things that are done or that you want done, and man gets in the way, the first thing that came to my head was you got to be patient. You need patience, because everything, remember the scriptures say, ask and ye shall receive. But the scriptures always tell us that it is going to be in the Most High's time. It ain't going to be in your time. So let's touch on that real quick. Let's go to, I'm trying to get my Bible out. Go to Matthew's. Oh, it's actually Luke. Luke 21:19. Go to Luke 21:19. And the sister just asking about something that she's trying to get, and she feels that Satan's hand is in it, trying to stop it. So, but we gotta always remember, whatever we want, there's a necessary patience in what we want. I don't care what it is. It's gonna be in the Most High's time and not our time. And when we learn that, then we put it in the Most High's hands, and he does his will. If it's necessary, he gives it. If not, he doesn't. And we got to understand that. So read that, Luke 21:19. Shalom.
Luke chapter 21 and verse 19.
Do me a favor on this side. That way, because she's asking a question.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
In your patience possess ye your soul.
Right. So read where we're at once again. Let them know where we're at.
Luke chapter 21 and verse 19.
Luke 21 verse 19. Go ahead.
In your patience possess ye your souls.
Why? Because a lot of times all these things that go on around us, we were talking about it yesterday. We try to force the course of the river. We try to demand from the Most High, you know, what needs to happen, and then we get frustrated when it doesn't. We get let down when it doesn't. So, you know, yeah, we pray for stuff, but, you know, are you a parent?
No, sir.
No? Well, when you have kids, you find out that sometimes those kids don't need what they ask for all the time. When your kids run up to you and like, listen, I need this, I need that. You're like, no, you don't. I want this, I want that. Well, the Most High knows what you need, what you want, what's good, right? And he gives it to you in its due season. So read it one more time, and then we're going to read it one more time.
Luke chapter 21 and verse 19. In your patience possess ye your souls.
Right. In your patience possess ye your souls. we need to remember that whatever we ask for, the Most High is going to give it in due season. Go ahead.
Verse 20.
Uh-huh.
And when ye shall see Jerusalem.
No, that's it on that. Go from there, go to Hebrews 6, verse 15. Hebrews 6, verse 16.
Hebrews chapter 6 and verse 15.
Right? Hebrews 6 and 15. Let's slow it down a little bit. I don't want to be moving too fast. Hebrews 6, verse 15. The last one was Luke 21 and 19. Right? So we pray to the Most High. We face the east. We ask the Most High for certain things. Yehovah Shemel Shai, Lord, please bless us. Bless me. We need this. But the Most High knows what you need. He knows what's good for you. And a lot of times he knows when to give it to you. You ask for something, but a year later you get it. That's how it works. Most High don't always give it to you right then and there. Why? Because he tries your patience. He tries your zeal and your diligence. How many people, they don't get it right away. They're like spoiled brats. See, he wasn't there for me, so you know what? I'm not going to pray. I'm not going to believe in him. Scripture said, in patience possess ye your souls. Hebrews 6, verse 15. Read that.
Hebrews chapter 6 and verse 15.
Go ahead.
And so, after he had patiently endured,
right,
he obtained the promise.
Right. When you look at our elders, when you look at our ancestors, when you look at the men of the scriptures, right, they patiently endured. They patiently endured, and then the Most High blessed them. Everyone patiently endured, and then the Most High came in and said, okay, listen, you got it. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, right? All of our forefathers, Solomon, David, right? So you gotta, when you ask for something, you gotta wait. You gotta wait. And then you gotta understand if the Most High don't want it to give it to you, you gotta be pleased with the will of the Most High. That's the whole point where Christ said he cried the blood of tears. It said he had sweat of tears, right? Find that one for me, Jeremiah, real quick. Because there's a point in there. So read that one more time. Hebrews 6, verse 15.
Hebrews chapter 6, verse 15.
Right.
And so, after he had patiently endured,
right,
he obtained the promise.
Right. So we got to patiently endure, and then the Most High might give you that. Whatever it is. You know, I know yours is something kind of big. It's a big thing. But whatever it is, you got to know if that's the direction the Most High wants it to go, then he's going to give it. He's going to bless it. You know, but are you pleasing the Most High for him to give it? Are you doing his will for him to give it to you? Right? Go from there, go to Hebrews 10, verse 36. Hebrews 10, verse 36.
Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 36.
Right. Hebrews 10, verse 36. And we're just doing questions now. So if y'all got any questions online, come on in, settle down, and then we'll go over the questions. And then we'll get into, if the Lord willing, we'll get into this Genesis 3. All right, go ahead.
Hebrews chapter 10, verse 36.
Go ahead.
For ye have need of patience.
For ye have need of what?
Of patience.
For Israelites have need of what?
Patience.
Yeah, that usually is our problem. And it's funny you asked that because the class I was going to go over the other day, that I'm not going to go over today because I want more of these brothers and sisters that ain't here to get all that. But this is one of the points, is that a lot of times we want things, but we won't. Real faith is seen through your patience. Real faith is seen through your patience. You know a faithful man because he's patient. So, what is it saying?
For ye have need of patience.
Go ahead.
That after ye have done.
That when?
That after ye have done.
That after ye have done. Go ahead.
The will of the Most High.
Go ahead.
Ye might receive the promise.
See? So when do you get what is promised to you? After you do the will of the Most High. So you got to please. You got to please the Most High. You got to do the will of the Most High. You got to make sure you're in the sight of the Most High doing the things that please him. Because he blesses his sons, his daughters. He says he has pleasure in the prosperity of his saints. He has pleasure in the prosperity of his saints. So he wants you to prosper. He wants you to grow. But are you doing the right things in his eyesight? You keeping the laws? You keeping the commandments? You doing righteousness? Right? So these are the things we got to keep in mind, man. Read that one more time.
Hebrews chapter 10, verse 36. For ye have need of patience, that after ye have done the will of the Most High,
right,
ye might receive the promise.
Right. After you've done the will of the Most High, you might receive the promise. Why? Because the Most High does things on his time, not yours.
I had the scripture before we continue.
Yeah. You got it? Okay, let me get it for you real quick.
There's one in Luke.
Yeah, it's in the Gospels.
Luke 22.
Go there. Let's see if that's it. Yeah, it's in the Gospels. It's y'all probably right. Luke what?
22:44.
Luke 22, verse 44. Let's go. Wait. Let them get it. I'm sorry. You know how we be flying, man. Luke where?
22:44.
Luke 22. Okay, no, that's not the one I want, though. I'm looking at it. Hold on. That's not the one I want. Hold on. Wait. It should be over here. Oh, yeah. You're going to read 40, Luke 22 and 40.
Come.
Go ahead.
And when he was at the place, he said unto them, pray that ye enter not into temptation.
Right.
And he was withdrawn from them about a stone's cast, and kneeled down and prayed, saying, Father, if thou be willing, remove this cup from me.
Right.
Nevertheless.
So we know what Yahushua Christ was going through. He was going to be put to death. He said, if it be your will, what?
Remove this cup from me.
Right, because he was a man. He got weak. Yahushua knew what he was going to deal with. But at this point, he's praying, he's crying, he's asked the Most High, please remove this from me. Go ahead.
Nevertheless.
But this is the point. This is the point that we got to understand. What?
Nevertheless.
Read.
Not my will.
Not what?
My will.
Go ahead.
But thine.
Right.
Be done.
Do you see that? So you got a lot of times frustration, anger, and loss of faith, loss of hope is because we're not saying this. You know, you pray, you know, you that single man, single woman, you pray the Lord, Yahweh send me a right woman or right man, right? But you don't do the things pleasing, The Most High makes it, he stretches this out. And in your mind ain't, well, nevertheless, let thy will be done. Meaning that when you're ready, I know you know what is going to be good for me. So this got to be your mind behind anything that you do want. You got to know that, okay, I'm going to pray for it. But I'm going to do the will of the Most High. And if it comes, it comes. If it don't, then I have to know, nevertheless, let thy will, go ahead.
But thine be done.
Right. Nevertheless, not my will, but thine be done. And that's why Yahweh Shai, who you know as Jesus Christ, was the man. Because he didn't come to do his own thing. He didn't get frustrated and belligerent because he was lied on, where he was treated wrong, he was misused, right? He knew that that's what I'm here for. So, you know, not without going into all that, sticking to your question is that you need patience when you ask the Most High for anything and praying to the Most High and saying, okay, but nevertheless, let thy will be done. You know, making sure obviously, if you're dealing with something like that, all your information and how to get this grant, right? You know, you got to make sure it's together. Your information is put together correctly. And then you can't do nothing after that. You can't do nothing after that. It's the Most High. Now, how many times we did that, man? We prayed for the job. You know what I mean? My rib was praying for, she's like, man, I need to get out of this job. These people over here, this drama, soap opera madness, right? She prayed for what, 2 years? You know what I mean? Then the sister Abadiah, she was like, I got you. I got perfect place for you. You know what I mean? She went, before that, she went to another place. It didn't go through. So, you know, that's how the Most High is, though. He don't do things in our time. Think about it. A day with the Lord is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is a day. Then that means that what you might be thinking is 2 years is only 2 minutes for him.
Right. 2 seconds.
2 seconds, right? For him. So, you got to have patience. Ye have need of patience, like the scripture say. So, just be patient. Keep praying to the Most High. And, you know, at the end of your prayers, tell the Most High, nevertheless, let thy will be done. Either way it go, I'm going to be humble and meek to your purpose. And hopefully he does look on your meekness and your humility and blesses you. Right? Khan?
Khan.
Yeah, Khan means yes. That's what they're saying. All right. Yeah, they're saying Khan is yes in Hebrew. All right. So, I mean, did that help out a little bit, sis?
Yes.
Yeah.
Khan.
Yeah, Khan. There you go. Yeah. I mean, there's really no other way. He said, Paul, remember when he blinded Paul? He said, why dost thou kick against the pricks? It's not like we can fight the Most High. You know, the wicked, the disobedient, they're the ones doing that. What's that movie with Jim Carrey? When he was supposedly asking signs of the Most High? I forgot the name of that movie, man. Bruce Almighty, yeah. And the Most High would send actual signs. Oh. and he was like, send me a sign. And the Most High sitting and doing all the things, and he just don't see it. Why? Because his eyes ain't open. And that's how the world, their eyes ain't open to the service and the will of the Most High. Our eyes are supposed to be open through this right here. And understanding that we don't control nothing. He's going to do what he wants to do. And all I have to do is please him. And if he sees fit for me to have it, then he would get it. You know? That's how it works. And I can't get angry and upset because it ain't in my time. You know, and be specific when you pray too. Be specific to what you want. You know? And we talked about that the other day. You know, brothers pray for a wife, and you pray for the wrong thing. You pray for all carnal. all the carnal attributes. Have her look like this. Have her look like that. You know, same thing with sisters. You send me a husband, right? Yeah, send me one with 6-inch arms, right? But his spirit ain't right. His spirit ain't right. His head ain't right. His mind ain't right. Her mind don't be right because you forgot to really pray for what you needed, not for what you want. So you got to be conscious of that also, man. So, I mean, did you have any other thing on that you wanted to speak about or a question on that, sis? Okay. All right. So, I mean, any questions? Any questions y'all got? Anything? Sis, what's your name, sis? Jocelyn, and your name? Alexandra? Okay. So, y'all been checking us out online? Okay, well, y'all know how we do then. So, if you got any questions, just raise your hand. Yeah.
I just wanted to add.
Oh, you got another one?
Come on. Luke 11 and 9.
Go ahead.
On down.
Mm-hmm.
Luke chapter 11, verse 9.
Wait till they get it. Luke 11 and 9. Okay. Y'all got it? Go ahead.
Luke chapter 11, verse 9. And I say unto you, ask, and it shall be given you.
Right.
Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you.
Mm-hmm.
For everyone that asketh, receiveth. And he that seeketh, findeth.
Mm-hmm.
And to him that knocketh, it shall be opened.
Right.
If a son shall ask bread of any of you, that is a father, will give he him a stone? Meaning, like, if your son is asking for something specific that's good for him, would you give him a stone?
Right.
Or if he asks a fish, will he for a fish give him a serpent?
Mm-hmm. So the Most High knows what you need.
Kind of like you can ask for something.
Yeah.
But if it's not gonna be beneficial for you,
yeah.
Why would he give you that if
right.
it's not gonna be beneficial for you? And then, like, as he goes down, he's like, he goes, you guys being evil, don't you know? Evil people know how to give good gifts. How much better the Most High knows how to give good gifts?
Exactly. Go ahead. You have more?
Kind of, it just goes down to what I just said.
Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 12. Or if he shall ask an egg, will he offer him a scorpion?
Mm-hmm.
If ye then, being evil, know how to give good gifts unto your children,
right.
how much more shall your Father, your heavenly Father, give the Holy Spirit to them that ask him?
Right, right. See, I like that because, what's the main thing he's talking about? He's like, listen, I'm going to give you these spiritual things. A lot of times and not saying you're not going to get the carnal things, but a lot of time you ask for carnal things and you need the spiritual things to maintain them anyway. And a lot of people don't see that. Yeah, it's like the person the other day, he was talking about why y'all believing in this Bible, y'all need to be ready and stuff like that. We're like, the first place to get ready at is in your mind with anything. So that shows you how backward the world is. They get ready with the carnal and then try to get the mind ready. And the mind, because it is carnal, it can't understand how to work things in the spirit. So that was right on point, right on point. All right. All right, so check and see if we got any questions online. If we got some online, we'll go through and answer. If not, we'll touch on this Genesis 3. So if y'all sisters got any other questions, now's the time. Nobody?
This cave belongs to your future grandson.
Let's see here. Do we got any online? We'll see real quick. We got one? What did it say?
I have a question on how to deal with your children who are under the age but don't want to come into the truth. How do you biblically deal with them without becoming harsh towards them?
Right. Good question. Now, it says they're underage.
Underage.
What age are they? I just want to know. Tell us what age are they? Because when you say they're underage, 3, 4, 5, 10, because she said he or she.
That's a she.
She they don't want to come in. Like, what age are they? Because you know, that's like, you know, I got a 10-year-old, 12-year-old, or 11-year-old. Ages, man. Yeah, it's like 12, 13. Yeah, you might get a little more friction. But then when you go down younger than that, there's no choice of what you're doing. You know, of course, it's still by your method.
She says 12 and 15.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's when stubbornness, stiff-neckedness, and all the bad example that they learned over the years has to be undone. So, according to the Bible, when does a child become a man?
Age of 20.
12. That's why when he was 12 years old.
Oh, you're talking about New Testament.
No.
Remember the Old Testament when it was
20 was just the priesthood.
Okay.
That was when you can
Go serve in the temple.
right. Yeah. But as far as like coming of age would be 12. Right? And we know that is far from what 12 years old are today. But these children today have learned so many bad examples. You know, you got to think about how long you've been in the truth. Right? How long you've had the knowledge. How many issues that you have. Right? So, how would you deal with a new person? You see what I'm saying? How would you remember this? You can't force anybody. When they're 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it's easy. You know, with my son, I don't have to do nothing. He watches me. Every time he sees me, my books are open, I'm studying. What you reading? That's what he was doing at 3 or 4. Now it's like they already know, oh, you're studying. You know, now at this age, they're already, oh, yeah, y'all make sure y'all get y'all books and y'all read, y'all study tonight before y'all go to sleep. 1 chapter, come. It's easy. But you had to establish that from your youth, from their youth up. But now at this age, like my teenager, she's in that teenage stage. She got a form of godliness, a form of righteousness. But now she got school influencing that, trying to influence that also, her mind. So it's still 2 different situations because her mind she ain't trying to go with them anyway. But sticking to the point, when you got them that age, you should treat them like they're how we treat everybody. When a new person come in the door, what does it say in the Bible? How do we deal with them?
As babes.
As babes. And that's where we're going to go.
What does that mean?
As a child. Meaning that when you come in the door, you know, there's certain things that we have to understand that you don't know. So we're not going to be flipping over tables. Sister, where's your head cover at? We're like, because you don't know. You know what I mean? You don't do that. Or a brother comes in and he got his hat on or whatever. He don't know. You know what I mean? We're not going to be like, brother, what's your problem? Start throwing stuff. And you know better. You're a follower of Christ. He don't know. There's certain people that it's good. They got to work to understand. That's how you need to deal with them. Now, I know there's a lot of equations in this question because one of the equations could be that they're rebellious. Well, now you're talking about parenting. You're talking about what did you do to win your children? You see that? Because at 12 or 13, if you're talking about they're rebellious, we got another subject. You know what I mean? We got a whole nother subject. Because they're rebellious kids, right? They're stubborn kids. You see that? So now you got to talk about how to deal with that. Another equation is, what is your example? That's a whole nother topic. Right? What is your example? Because in the household, the children are going to look at your example. They're going to look at how you deal with your husband. How your husband deals with you. If my son sees me choking out my wife, you know what I mean? Beating my wife, they're going to be like what? The son is going to be like, yeah, I'm going to be like dad. Because that's what I asked him, what you want to do when you grow up? I want to teach just like you. And that's without forcing him and shoving the Bible down his mouth. It was just a natural graduation of, I see what you're doing. I love that. Right. That's right. You see that? So it's all about example. So, you know, if you want to deal with this subject, maybe you can say, well, Kazak, speak on a rebellious child. Or speak on this, because I can go into a lot of stuff right now. Many different points, because one of the main points you got to understand, which I just said, is that you're the example. So if you're coming to the truth, right, you got to start showing them how it's fun and good, and you are following. See? Get out of this forcing mind, because when you force anybody, the natural reaction of people that are forced is naturally you're what? You resist. You see what I'm saying? Naturally. That's why you get all these kids that are Christians, grow up Christians, right? Their whole life they've been suppressed, and then what happens when they white mom and white dad, you know, they get 18, they're what? Out doing pills, smoking weed, getting high, orgies. Why? Because mom and dad kept me secluded, away from everything. You understand? So they get out and they just get bucked. And I know I was like, man, I don't want my kids to be like that, so I'm not going to force them. I'm going to let the Spirit naturally see the workings of the Most High.
She said they've been the truth since 2010, but they left the group they were with, so they're going left.
Yeah. The reason why is, okay, so the reason why is example. So now I got a topic. Now I got a real point to touch on. See? So the scriptures go to Proverbs. Let's start there. And it's a scripture I was pulling the other day. And we'll go there first. Go to Proverbs 14:1.
Proverbs chapter 14, verse 1.
Right. Now, I'm assuming this sister's question is based on they were teaching the right thing. I'm assuming that they were in the Spirit and they left the Spirit. You know what I mean? This is what happens when you're online. You're going through these questions, trying to make sure you got the context of the question correct. So that's what I'm trying to do. Make sure I got the context of the question correct so we can hone in on that and answer you. So read this, though.
Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
Every wise woman buildeth her house.
Every what?
Wise woman buildeth her house.
Right. So we got to understand that the father and the mother had to establish their house on what? The commandments, the laws, and the principles of the Most High. Con? Y'all gotta understand this, man. That read it again. I got scriptures popping in my head because I got a topic now. Go ahead.
Every wise woman buildeth her house. But plucketh it down.
But the what?
But the foolish plucketh it down with her hands.
So you got to ask yourself, were they doing, where you were amongst, were they teaching them right? Were they following the right example? Were they doing the right things? You see that? Now, if they were, and you said, well, they were doing right, but we left that, then what example do you have? What example do you have? You don't have none. You know, and I'm going to say this, just on your, I don't know who that is. I haven't looked online or nothing. I'm getting scriptures, but we got people like that. That you see their kids, they were learning right, they were getting knowledge, they were thinking right, they were disregarding Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween, Easter, drugs, all that. They're growing up in this, right? And then the parents, they don't understand that they're the example. But so the parents left because this individual was weak to drugs, weak to this, and you can't have that in here. You know what I mean? We can't have them just doing that. So they left, right? And now you see them online, the kids changing. Now you see them acting like people of the world, right? You get that. So you got to understand that your example, man, is going to build or destroy this house. A lot of brothers and sisters don't see that, man. That what you're doing, if you was amongst brothers and sisters, man, that was doing right, and doing the will of the Most High, and then you leave that, then where's the example? Then why? Ask this. Are you still keeping the example? Because how is this house got to be built? So read it one more time, and then we're going to go to the Apocrypha. We're going to jump over to the Apocrypha. Read it one more time. Go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 1. Every wise woman buildeth her house.
Right.
But the foolish plucketh it down with her hands.
But the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. Go from there, go to Proverbs 9 and 1.
Proverbs chapter 9 and verse 1.
Right. Wait till they get it. Proverbs 9 and 1. Y'all got it? Okay. Read that.
Proverbs chapter 9 verse 1. Wisdom has built her house.
What?
Wisdom has built her house.
So what builds the house? When it says a wise woman built her house, what builds the house? Wisdom. The laws, the commandments, the statutes, right? You see that? That builds the house. Read.
She hath hewn out her 7 pillars.
Because why? What keeps your house stable? Wisdom, knowledge, and discipline. Listen, why are people out there destroyed?
For lack of knowledge.
They're destroyed for the lack of knowledge. They don't got wisdom. They learned their wisdom from who? Rappers, TV. Grandma said. Uncle Ray the ex-pimp said. Right? And they sitting there eating that up. Smoking weed, getting high. That's their knowledge. And then they deal with their kids like that. I was just, and it, not judging, but our people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. You know what I mean? You see the moms, they walking around, this chick, stomach showing, butt all out. Daughter is gonna look at her, and I'm looking at the husband like, dang, you don't care one bit about your wife. You ain't gonna be like, babe, listen. First of all, you got grease spilling out your pants. You're overweight, and you look at you. You're not thinking like, damn, cover up. But the wisdom and knowledge comes from what? The three amigos. Or what is The Migos, right? That's their wisdom and knowledge for rappers or TVs or movie star, and they're thinking like, I'm going to be like that. They're not thinking, let me go according to the wisdom and knowledge of Christ. What is it to be a woman, a meek woman in the Bible, or a righteous man in the Bible? They're not thinking on that. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So a wise woman buildeth her house with what? With what wisdom? The wisdom of Oprah? Or the wisdom of Will Smith YouTube channel? The wise sayings? Nah, the only wisdom we can get is here. It's like when you ask your question, where did I go to? Kazakia 1 and 1? No. We went to the wisdom, the scriptures to show us what? In patience. Because that's the method. That's the way. Christ said, I am the way. So, read it one more time.
Proverbs chapter 9 verse 1. Wisdom hath built her house.
Right.
She hath hewn out her 7 pillars.
Yeah, because the 7 pillars, what happens is these pillars of wisdom, like the pillars of this building, holds the house up. You leave that covering. Right? And that's why a lot of brothers and sisters, they don't like correction or reproof. We're like, okay, well, go do it your way. You just came off of drugs. You just came off of stripping. You just came off of being a whore on the block. But then now when you come in and are told, okay, put away the whorish, adulterous, double-minded, hateful, grudgy mind, you're like, well, how do you know the way? We know the way because this is the way, and this is the way we're teaching you for you to come out of your way. Right? See, but a lot of people, oh, I'm going to do it my way. Okay, do that. And let's see what benefits you, how it benefits you. We already know our way don't benefit us. Because our way is not the Most High's way. Y'all see that? Let's see here. Go from there, go to Ecclesiasticus and the Apocrypha 27 and 3.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 27 verse 3.
So we're talking about, if y'all don't know, we're going to give y'all Apocrypha. The Apocrypha is part of the Bible that's taken out. All right? And I got a Bible with the Apocrypha in here. Just to let y'all know, it is part of the Bible. It's not the book of Enoch and Jasher. It's not those fairy tale books. This is actual part of the Bible. So we're going to read out of here Ecclesiastes 27 and 3. And you know what it's going to do? It's going to reiterate what we just read in Proverbs. So read that. Ecclesiasticus 27 and 3. And it says Sirach in there. Ecclesiasticus 27 verse 3.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 27 and verse 3.
Right. Ecclesiastes 27 verse 3. We'll wait till they get it. Ecclesiastes 27 verse. It's in the Apocrypha. In the book she just gave you. Yeah, that's the Apocrypha is part of the Bible that was taken out. If you look at the front of the Apocrypha, it says Authorized King James Version, because these are books that were taken out by the Roman Catholic Church, right? And then put back in at a certain time. So that's what we got here. We got the Apocrypha. This Bible right here, this is King James Version. It got the Bible and the Apocrypha in it. All right? So that's what we're reading out of. Go ahead and read that.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 27 and verse 3.
Go ahead.
Unless a man hold himself diligently.
Right.
In the fear of the Lord.
Unless he do what?
Hold himself diligently in the fear of the Lord.
Unless he do what?
Hold himself diligently in the fear of the Lord.
And what is the fear of the Lord? Hold that. Let's jump over to Ecclesiasticus. Same book, same book. We're going to go over to the, I think it's the 2nd chapter. Or is it, hold on. Hold on. I was just reading it the other day. Oh, the 1st chapter.
Verse 18.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead and read it. Ecclesiastes what?
1 and verse 18.
Go ahead.
The fear of the Most High is a crown of wisdom.
Is a what?
Crown of wisdom.
See, now, read 27, where you're at again.
Unless a man hold himself diligently.
Unless he do what?
Hold himself diligently.
Because you know what? You coming into this battle of wisdom and knowledge and understanding, you got to be diligent in this. You got to understand what you're coming in the knowledge and the truth for. You got to understand that you're going to affect your children. A lot of people don't see that, man. You come in and then you go off. You don't see the effects of that, oh, you was learning right, until your kids is getting high, until they talking like people in the world, until they getting haircuts like people in the world. That's our first thing. I'm like, dang, they was locked in. The first thing is they start looking like the world. Then you see them acting like the world. I remember when Quatazab came, his son was smaller. Of course, I mean, he's small now, but he was smaller than he is now. And he was quiet, just watch. Man, it took him how long? Not even a year. This cat's facing the east. He'll say prayers louder than anybody in here. And he's like to your ankles. And he's like, yeah, how? What is he seeing? Example. Just like if we rolled up the blunt in front of him and start hitting it, like these knuckleheads on YouTube and handing it to our kids, what are they going to do? They're going to be thinking like your knucklehead, but what? Well, I can't survive without this. And that's what they told my daughter in school. 12 years old. My daughter's 13. And these girls are trying to get her to get high. And she's like, I don't need that. And she's like, yeah, I can't get... How you 11, 12? You can't get high. No, trust me. Her dumbass parent was talking like that around her and put that in her mind. Because her parent is destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Because she rejected knowledge, the Most High rejected her. That's Hosea 4 and 6. I know I keep quoting it. She was rejected. Our people were rejected. And what do? Their actions are showing their kids. And a lot of brothers and sisters don't come in and see that. And then they going through this trial and tribulation to change. But their kids are learning like this. They pick up his kid's a computer. A sponge, man. That's why at one time, he checked it. But at one time, he let him on YouTube a little too much. And he came in one time, whoop, that shit. And I was like, whoa, whoa. Yeah. Why? Because they're sponges. My son right now, man, and all we do is, it's a 25-minute ride from house to his karate. And I got him already on like 9, 10 scriptures. I'm like, where do you go to prove that pork is wrong in the Bible? Leviticus 11 and 7. Where do you prove that you're supposed to wear fringes in the Bible? Numbers 15:38. Where do you prove that Christ is dark-skinned in the Bible? Revelation 1:13. I'd be like, looking at him like, And all it is 25-minute ride. Now I got him on Jeremiah 14:2 on the tribes. What tribe is Judah? The so-called Negroes. How do you know? You know what I mean? Well, why do we say so-called? Because they're not really black. They're brown. Breaking it down, and he's what, 10? They're sponges. So what happens? The opposite. The opposite is what? Look, go to YouTube. You know, I don't have to defame nobody. Go to YouTube and you see him on there. She twerking with a dookie stain. And her daughter right there is what? Right behind her twerking with a doo-doo stain. With you know how they be having the ones with the menstrual pad be sticking out? All to mock. All to mock our people. That's all mockery, man. It's a disgrace. Because wisdom doesn't build their house. You know what their wisdom wisdom is? Rap music, Rihanna, and damn blunts and 40s. And it's destroyed us. So, getting back to the question, same thing. When you leave wisdom, you know, and I'm assuming that this sister's asking based on we left the right thing, right? We left doing the right thing. When you leave that wisdom, what happens? So read it again, Ecclesiastes 27, and then we're going to go back to 1 and 18. Go ahead.
Unless a man hold himself diligently in the fear of the Lord,
go ahead.
His house shall soon be overthrown.
See? Unless he hold himself in the fear of the Lord. But what is the fear of the Lord? Oh, no. The fear of the Lord is what?
A crown of wisdom.
Right. Jump to verse 14. Ecclesiastes 1 and 14. Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 14.
Go ahead.
To fear the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
See, wisdom. To know that the Most High is going to establish your house, your children. He's going to establish your generations. He's going to establish your wife. He's going to establish your husband. And what? A sensible mind of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And how to do what? Everything. What to eat, how to dress, how to walk, how to talk, how to deal with your mental anxiety, your lack of patience, your bitterness, your anger, your pride, your jealousy. The Bible teaches us everything. But the churches don't tell us that, so we don't look at this as the Bible as that. We don't look at the Bible as the solution. And to study this, to know the solution. We thought it was what? You come to church, whoo, hallelujah.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus. What did you guys learn? I don't know. Well, pastor was, man, you see him today? Him was sexy. You see how his face was shaven? That's what it's carnal. Instead of knowing that you got to get in this book to understand how to solve your issues, your problems. And a lot of people take that for granted. They leave the truth. They leave the right body that was teaching them the right way. And now the kids are what? You can see your action affect your kids. You're supposed to keep building the fear of the Lord in them. You understand? You're supposed to keep the bill. Y'all not, listen, whoever's asking this question, listen, there's a lot of brothers and sisters that are now regretting leaving off from the work, from the will, from the service, from the duty, from the ministry. You know why? Because their kids is grown up and they out there in those streets messing around with the world and then realizing what? Either the commandments is going to bind them and control them, or the knucklehead with the blunt and the 40. The goon with the tattoos and the foolish mentality. You're going to give them to somebody. Right. Or how about that? Forget the goons and the tattoos. How about you give them to the sellout regime? Because you think I'm taking just a shot at one sect of our people? No, you got a sect of our people that what? Sold out to the politics. And like you just said, you realize that what? Political, they ain't doing nothing for us. They're against us. But you get our people in there, I'm not going to be a thug. I'm going to be Mr. Right. You put on your suit, your tie, you go in there and what? Bend over for the so-called white man, and what happens? You start squeaking. Squeaking in the voice and squeaking in the spirit. You start losing touch. Well, what? I mean, you never had touch, right? But you start losing more and getting out of touch with your people. You see? I mean, if you could say, because the hood is not in touch either. People think that's being black. Well, I'm black when I'm ignorant, dumb, foolish, stupid as hell, talk wrong, shoot each other. That's me being black.
Keeping it real.
I'm keeping it real. No, you're blacked in your brain. So you see how all these things, man, if we don't have the wisdom of the Most High guiding us, you will fall. Go ahead. Come on.
Verse 4.
No. Go back. Ecclesiastes 1 and 14.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom,
Right. Y'all see that, right?
God.
And he was faithful in the womb. Okay. Jump to verse 16.
To fear the Lord is fullness of wisdom.
Read.
And filleth men with her fruit.
Filleth men with what fruits? The fruit of the Spirit, the fruit of wisdom and knowledge to keep his household stable. Right?
God.
Go ahead.
She filleth all their house.
Would she what?
Filleth all their house.
With what? Niggerism? Blunts? 40s? Strippers? YouTube acting like a goon and a fool? Or fills us with wisdom, understanding, priestly, like gods, like kings. Right? That's what the Most High fills our house with. He fills us to be kings and priests. We think everything the so-called white man gave us and everything we learned in the hood, we think that's wisdom and knowledge. It's death. It's death and madness. Go ahead.
With things desirable.
Right. You see that? You want things, but you need the fear of the Most High to get it. He ain't going to give it to you, man. Listen, I know y'all think, well, Lil Wayne got it. He didn't get it from the Most High. He got it from the devil.
God.
You know what I mean? Well, look how successful Jay-Z is, 50 Cent. What did they have to do to get there? They even tell you. They had to sling that dope and deal death to get there. They didn't get it right, man. Go ahead.
And the garters with her increase.
Read.
The fear of the Lord is a crown of wisdom.
Read.
Making peace.
Read. Making what?
Peace.
See, that's when you have your house in order. A wise woman buildeth her house. A man, if he don't keep his house in the strength of the Lord, the fear of the Lord, he falls. So this is answering your question. Like, what examples are you doing? Are you following the commandments, the laws, the stability, the things that were laid down in righteousness for you to say, I'm going to follow the will of the Most High? Assuming that your question is based on you were doing the will of the Most High.
You didn't see the second part of the question?
It must have just popped. It just recently popped up.
It just recently popped up?
They were saying that they were saying that they were part of a camp and they left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. You know what I mean? If the camp was teaching you the right thing, why?
She added to that.
She said, we have been in the truth since 2010, but we left the group we were with, so now they are going left.
Yeah.
Talking about the kids.
Yeah.
We left a camp that was totally, we left a camp that was totally out of order, and it has caused my dear husband to become scorned and not want to fellowship anymore.
Yeah, see, but see, there's a few different variables in here. So let's stick to one first, and then we can go to all the next issues in there. But you got to understand, the commandments weren't supposed to change. The method of healing, strengthening your kids, the law wasn't supposed to change. And like I said, hopefully they were teaching that. You know what I mean? Now, if they weren't, that's a whole nother thing. I mean, if they weren't, then that's a whole nother thing. Because they should have been teaching you how to guide your house. Right? But listen, it still pertains to your question. Because you're supposed to be holding yourself in the fear of the Most High, teaching your kids the commandments, the laws. You're supposed to be making sure you're the example. These are all attributes in the spirit. And if you didn't know, if you really weren't taught that, now you are. And you can still salvage that. And you know how you salvage it? First of all, getting your mind right. Because, like you said, the bitterness or the resentment from what happened, you got to let that go. The bitterness or anger or resentment, what happened with one man with another man or this and that, y'all got to let that go and understand that I still got to do the will of the Most High and the works of the Most High. That's how it works. No matter what you're going through, no matter what you're battling. See, the job don't change. The service don't change. So you need to reassess what you're doing and start establishing order back in your house and purpose back in your house. And I'm saying that based on, I mean, unless these cats were just wilding, 2010 is a long time. So start reestablishing. Go from there, go to Proverbs. So y'all get that, right? And I'm sticking to the question on your child, your children. We can go to the other variables in this question. Go to Proverbs real quick. And go to 22 and 6.
Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 6.
Right? So now that we got that the parents got to be established, right? In the law, in the fear of the Lord, in the commandments, keeping their household together, right?
Good.
We also are understanding this is how you do what? Read that. Proverbs 22 and 6.
Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 6. Train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he is old.
Right, so read it from the top. Read it again.
Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 6.
Right.
Train up a child in the way that he should go.
Okay, but read with me with some spirit.
God.
Not necessarily louder, just with some soul.
God.
Come on.
Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 6.
Conviction. I love it. Go ahead.
Train up a child.
There you go.
In the way he should go.
There you go. See, how are we going to train up a child in the way that he should go? How? You got to have this wisdom. You got to have the laws, the statutes, the commandments. Right? You got to have structure and order. So you need to reestablish that in your household. Reestablish the order. Reestablish what y'all doing together. Reestablish the commandments. Those don't change. The bickering and back argument, that's one thing. But the law don't change. What y'all supposed to be doing don't change. You know, and right now you're not doing it with them. There's still got to be unity. So they're doing with somebody else. It has to happen. It don't change. So we got to train up a child in the way which he shall go or she shall go. How though? How do you train them? What you got?
Ecclesiastes chapter 30, verse 1 through 7.
Okay. I know where you're at. Hold that though. Oh, not there yet. Not there. Yeah, because let me see here. Yeah. First, what is this? 2 Thessalonians 3 and 9. Go to 2 Thessalonians 3 and 9.
2 Thessalonians chapter 3 and verse 9.
Right?
God.
I like that too. Yep. 2 Thessalonians 3 and where?
Verse 9.
2 Thessalonians 3 and 9. So, how do we train up a child? We know the laws. We know the commandments. Right? But what to do with the laws and commandments? Go ahead.
2 Thessalonians chapter 3 and verse 9.
Go ahead.
Not because we have not power, but to make ourselves an example.
We supposed to do what?
Make ourselves an example.
The way they're going to see it is through an example. You got example, and then you got ensample. Ensample is working in you. It's working through you. They're looking at your character. They're looking at your actions. They're looking at your mindset. What?
Would an ensample be like the way you think?
There you go. Like the way you think. The way you judge things. You understand that? They're looking at that. You can't. Listen, go to the other one you got, because this is going to show you. Go to 5 and 2.
1 Peter 5 and 2.
You see that? When we walked, people were going to see our example and our ensample. Same thing with our children. Same thing with our children, man. Especially at this certain age. You don't want to force no kids. You want it to be natural. You want to show them, man, listen, this is going to, you got to sit down and have those conversations with them. I do it all the time. That 15-minute ride home, picking up the kids. How did your day go? What y'all talking about? What's on your mind? Really? What are they talking about? Well, you know why this is wicked? You know why that's off? And communicating. Israelites don't do that in the world. I mean, they what? Get home, do your homework, get on TV, go to bed, be influenced by the white man the next day, come back, do it all over again. TV, music, radio. You know what I mean? That's why I'm like, nah. None of that stuff during the week. You can watch your little Netflix weekends. It's going to be schoolwork, then you're going to read your scriptures, you're going to read a book, something to educate your mind. You got to have something beyond just, I'm waking up every day. You know what I mean? It's like I was telling one of the brother's daughters. She turned that music on and she sings. And I'm like, you know every dang song. But I said, how about if you did that with the audio Bible? Like the scriptures say, singing with hymns and songs. Yeah, you know every song, but how many scriptures you know? They put that on, I'm like, but nah, keep that away from my kids, man. Because you know why? They're not going to be just singing damn brainless, meaningless, nothingness songs. You know what I mean? They're already battling as it is. Read.
1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 2.
Go ahead.
Feed the flock of God which is among you.
So your children are your flock. Yeah, we know this is talking about leaders, but you're a leader in your house. So you're doing what? You're feeding, you got to feed your children with the right example, with the wisdom and knowledge of the Most High. Go ahead.
Taking the oversight thereof.
Doing what?
Taking the oversight thereof.
Yeah, meaning you got to be constantly watching. When you got flock, you don't just throw your flock out there. You got to be looking out. That's why brothers and sisters coming here, they're like, man, they want to know everything. Yeah, because we want to know what demons you got on you. What spirit you going to bring in our house? Who's the wolf? Right? Who's coming in with that? We want to know everything. You see that? Because you bring those demons in, and the young flock, they learning. You come and spit that to her. You come and spit that to him. And then they mind be messed up. Same thing with your kids. You got to know. And black parents don't talk to their kids. Hey, how'd your day go? They act like that's a white man thing. Like communication is a white man thing. No, talk to them. Get in their head. Become their friend. Become their brother. Become their sister. And be their parent. Yes. I'm not saying to do like the white man. Be their friends and then smoke weed with them.
Buy them the alcohol.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you got to be all that combined in one. Because if you're just the Terminator, y'all got to listen. Trust me. It don't work. If you're just a hardcore Hebrew Israelite, you're going to wear this. You're a Hebrew Israelite. You're going to do it. They're going to be like, what? Okay, yeah, I'm going to do it. Con. But wait till I turn 18. I'm out. I ain't doing none of that. Y'all niggas is crazy. Y'all a cult. Why? Because they learning this on TV. They learning the I'm free mentality on TV. You know what I mean? They learning that from their teacher. I be asking my kids, man, so what your teacher talk about today? And it be like stuff that you just, it can be a concept, a mental concept that will throw a kid off. And I got to talk them out of these mind states. You know, they throw something like, you know, that sodomite spirit. Like, it's okay to be what you like and what you feel in your heart.
Or Billy has two daddies.
Yeah.
And then it gets them wondering.
Yeah. Oh, what? You know what I mean? They have that mentality. And then they putting that in your kids' mentality, and then they come to you, they're walking in the house like, I want to be what I want to be. I don't want to be what you guys want me to be. But they don't understand that they want you to be a transvestite for you to chop off your penis, or for you to get pills to do away with your boobs. That's what they want you to do. They're not looking after your soul. So you got to be aware of this. You got to reestablish the things in this house. You got to reestablish the will of the Most High. That's what's going to build your house back in order. What?
I was just going to say, I was at a friend's house,
Mm-hmm.
and her daughter just recently had a baby.
Yeah.
And she's doing parenting, like getting parenting coaching.
Yeah.
Well, she's getting parenting coaching, but she lives at home with her mom. I'm not kidding. In SA, she's getting parenting coaching.
Right.
And she lives at home with her mom. Well, I happened to hear one of the coaching classes that she was, or the lady comes to the house.
Uh-huh.
And she was telling her, and her child is 3 months old. She's telling her, you know, don't force them, let them be what they want to be, you know, let her. And then she was giving her these examples of some of the trainings that they give parents about, you know, the kid goes to, for an example, if the kid goes to a little costume party or whatever,
Yeah.
and everybody has to dress up a certain way,
Uh-huh.
like in all white.
Yeah, yeah.
Let him, if he wants to wear a hot dog uniform or hot dog, you know, let him be what he wants to be.
Right.
Let her be what she wants to be.
Now here's the deceptiveness in that. You got to guide them, not force them.
Right.
You don't got to be Terminator, but you're definitely not letting them do what they want to do.
But
You see what I'm saying?
but
Yeah.
But her thing was like, have you seen those people who let their boys wear dresses?
Yeah, I know.
It's that same.
It's that mentality. It always comes to that.
Kind.
And to break the young black man's spirit at a young age,
Yeah.
to break their mind at a young age. And that destroys them, right? So go ahead and read on.
1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 2.
Okay, sisters, y'all out?
Yeah.
Okay, shalom. It's nice to see y'all. Hopefully that helped out, sis. Did it? All right, sis. Shalom. Go ahead.
Feed the flock of God, which is among you,
So you got to feed them. Go ahead.
taking the oversight,
Go ahead.
not by constraint,
Read.
but willingly.
You know why it says not by constraint? Because you know when you feel forced. You know when you feel forced, or you got to force somebody, that's the constraint. Now it's a whole different mentality when you're dealing with these children. That's with everybody though. The children of Israel and your children. You start having to force things on them, it don't come out the right way. It don't come out in the right spirit. You got to have tact. You got to have wisdom. So back to her question, you know, they're teenagers. Start using wisdom with them. Start bringing them back into following the laws, the high holy days, right? Start doing things that's going to bring them back into that mind. And then if there is a right body that you're around, get with them. Because they need to see the kids working together. They need to see the parents doing the will of the Most High. So you can't give up because y'all been bruised or battered. It don't work like that, man. Nah, there's going to be, the scriptures say offenses will come. Yeah, this is what's wrong with Israel. You still deal like you deal in the world, Shalom. You still deal like you deal in the world. You know, you get a little bruised and battered and then you give up on everything. It don't work like that. The scriptures tell you how to deal with those things. So, but you see how your kids are affected and how they give up. But no, you got to stand bold, stand strong, and keep guiding them. Go ahead.
Not for filthy lucre.
Not for what?
Filthy lucre.
Right. And basically not for finances. Go ahead.
But of a ready mind.
But of a what?
Ready mind.
So reestablish your house ready. Be ready to establish. Set up guidelines and rules. But make it fun. Well, you know, she said, how old are they? 12 and 15? You got to make it fun. Now, if they're in this rebellious stage, they're still 12 or 15. Then you got to deal with discipline. You got to deal with discipline. You see? So it got to be a balance. You got to know your children. You got to know your children. If you can reach them in another way without having to punish them and get them right. Like my kids right now, no bikes, no electronics, no TV. Why? Because they're taking for granted all the blessings the Most High has given them, and they're giving little attitudes that don't fly. They should know better, right? But you know, a kid is a kid. They're gonna try to test the boundaries, and no, so the discipline has to start. You see that? But let's finish this point before we go to the next. Go ahead.
Neither as being lords over God's heritage.
You know, it's the same thing. If I come in here like I'm Kimo Sabi, you're going to be like, bro, what's wrong with this guy? Same thing in your household. You come in, you kicking in the door. You know what I mean? Don't lock that door, little nigga. They're like, damn, I can't get no privacy. I can't wait till I get out of this house. You know what I mean? You ain't showing no wisdom, no love in what you're doing. You're like just this brute animal in the house. Like the scriptures say, be not a lion in your house. Good. Then it's going to get like they don't want to do it. So you, because we don't know you, we don't know we don't know you or your kids, and they ain't been amongst us. Like brothers amongst us, like I said, I can speak on his kids. He can speak on my kids. Why? Because he's amongst us. Then we can kind of get more detailed on what our issue is amongst them. You know what I mean? But you know your kids. So you know the right balance of, oh, you know what? Yeah, I see what Priest Kazak is saying. I'm a little too hard on them. I might need to tone it down a little bit. Or you can say, I see what Priest Kazak is saying because we're finna hit the other side too. Oh, you know what? They need this side. So when we deal with a lot of topics, we try to deal with kind of the different angles of really what you're dealing with. Because everything ain't just one-sided. Everything ain't you just got to come in and get right. The Most High said, make your sides bleed. You're not going to deal with everything like that. You know what I mean? Make their sides bleed. Though you bleed, you will not die. You going to bleed tonight. Not all the time. All kids don't need beat downs. You know what I mean? Listen, my kids, man, I get them in counsel with them, tears start falling. All I got to say is, listen, I'm disappointed in you. The tears start. I'm like, I don't want to see those tears. Because if you were tearing up, you should have been tearing up when I gave you the commandment and you disobeyed it. So you got to know your children. But this point, we want to finish up on. Go ahead.
But being ensample.
There's the point. You got to be an ensample. They got to see you. So you got to think about it. If this question is going into, well, my husband's hurt. He did with this, and these issues and that. Well, what spirit you putting out there? Because if your kids see I'm refraining and pushing away, then they're going to push away. They're going to be like, you know what? Mom, Dad, you push it away. I'm going to push away. Y'all see that? That's real. They're looking at you and they're going to do what you do. Y'all see this? That's why, before we go to the discipline side, go to, because we're going to go there. We're going to go back to Ecclesiastes 30 because we need that. But before you do that, go to Timothy's. Go there. Timothy's. I didn't hear that. Timothy's what? Let's go to Timothy's. I'm turning. Brain is turning. No. Hold on one second. 1 Timothy's 5 and down. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, you want 5? Yeah.
5 and 2.
Okay.
5 and 2.
1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
The elder woman
Uh-huh.
as mothers,
Right.
the younger as sisters,
Read.
with all purity.
Right. Read.
Honor widows that are widows indeed.
Okay, jump over to, getting straight to the point. 10.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Verse 10.
Uh-huh.
Well reported of for good works.
So, what are we talking about? We're talking about example, ensample. And the example that your children are looking at. They supposed to see the mothers. Read it again.
Well reported of for good works.
They're supposed to see that structure in your household. They're supposed to see the wives in order with the husbands. The husbands not maniacs and brutes, but dealing with wisdom. The boy's supposed to see that. The girl's supposed to see that. That this is what type of man I want to deal with. I don't want to deal with no guy putting his elbow in my mama's head. But for some reason, that's kind of like, you see that and then you get a guy like that. That's how it works, right? In the world. Like the thing you hated in your parents, you went and did. That's the bad example. But they're supposed to be seeing the well-reported, mom is a good example. Dad is a good example. This is how you establish a house with wisdom and understanding. This is how they're going to see and say, I'm going to follow that. Go ahead.
If she have brought up children.
Right? Your daughters are seeing how they're being taken care of. If mom is always frustrated every time she combing your hair, like, here's a nappy ass hair, you see your little dirty, stinky, look at you. It's like, what do you think she's going to do to her daughter? The same thing. You get those mothers, man, it's like, this is terrible. Everything's sad and everything's down and everything's hate and everything's Your kids are going to be like exactly angry, bitter, black, and Hispanic women when they grow up. Your kids watch you. That's how you train them. You train them through your example. You can talk to them all you want. They got to follow your example. You know what I mean? You get the ones, Mom, you do it. Right? Dad, you do it. They got to see example. Go ahead.
If she have large strangers.
Yeah, she's seeing. You know what it's saying? It's saying that she lodged strangers. She's a character and a standard of giving that has humility, that has love. That's what your kid's supposed to be seeing. Read.
If she have washed the saints' feet.
If she what?
Have washed the saints' feet.
She's charitable. Go ahead.
If she have relieved the afflicted.
Read.
If she have diligently followed every good work.
You see that? If she diligently followed every good work. So the same thing with a man. The same thing with a man. Jump over. Is it Titus? Okay, Titus 2 and 3. Go there. Yeah. Just showing, man. Y'all got to remember, to reestablish a house, they got to see you. They got to see the things in you. And you got to have a good balance when you deal with your children. Because they're going to learn all your... You see what I'm saying now? I'm still seeing imperfections to where it's like my kids picked up in me. Now I got to go back and fix that. Start with me. Start with me and be able to... Little subtle things. If you're watching. If you're watching, it be little subtle things. You know what I mean? You got brothers that always call their rib bro. It's like, bro, talking to their wives. Then the boys come in. Listen, bro. It be subtle things like that, man. And you be like, hold on. That's disrespectful. Don't do that. But they're watching you do it. So they got to see a good example. Go ahead, read that.
Titus chapter 2 and verse 3.
Go ahead. and 2. 2 and 2.
You started actually 2 and 1.
Yeah, 2 and 1.
Good. Titus chapter 2 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine.
Right, so this doesn't change. It doesn't change when we deal with our kids.
But it doesn't change if you're in a camp or not.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially once you learn it. Once you learn it from a camp, it doesn't change because you're not with the camp.
Now, if you haven't learned it, then that's another story.
That's a different story.
Yeah, yeah.
Pertaining to this sister.
Yeah.
She learned it. They learned it.
Yeah.
They were supposed to stick to this sound doctrine.
Exactly. Because this is the example.
Right.
That's the example. Go ahead.
That the aged men be sober.
Be what?
Sober.
So when your son sees the father, he sees a dad that's sober. Not a father that comes in every night like Roseanne Barr's husband. Faded, popping a beer. The 90s woman. The 90s man. Yeah, Al Bundy spirit. Come in, just like, you go to work and then you come in and you pop a beer. You smoke a cigarette.
Yeah.
That's your day. Your kid's going to be like, what? That's what I'm going to do. I know, brothers, you know what I heard the other day? Somebody, my rib was telling me, somebody told her, well, people raise their kids different. People do. People do. Well,
no, I was going to say, that's not raising your kid.
Right, exactly.
Sliding home and just sitting in front of the couch.
Yeah, right. People raise their kids different, but y'all don't understand that. To many people that thinks, oh, I can be bad examples, or I can do things off, and that's just how I raise my kids. You can, but you can do whatever you want to do, but your kids are going to learn that example. There is no such thing as like, oh, I do it my way, you do it your way. Listen, if I come in and I drink a beer every night, and my sons see that, that is my way. But my way, is that feasible for my children to see me drink a beer every night?
See, people don't understand when the scripture says train up a child in the way you would have them go.
There you go.
Not depart. That's a two-way thing.
Yep.
You can train them up in ignorance, or you can train them up in a righteous way.
Yeah.
But if you train them to hit the beer every night,
right?
Oh, that's what my dad did.
That's what my dad did.
That's what he's gonna do. If you say, listen, pray, read, that's what he's gonna do.
Right.
So train up a child the way you should have him, and he will not depart those two ways.
Right.
A lot of people look at it one way, like,
exactly.
If I just do the right thing with him, then he's good.
They're not understanding, man. Somebody told my rib that I was like, you need to show her that the way is the method. Is it wisdom? What are you doing? You know what I mean? And it was applied to, oh, it's okay for them to watch stupid ass videos. Like, no, your child is young as hell. You don't want him watching this. Well, that's just the way you do it. It ain't got nothing to do with my way. It got something to do with the wisdom and knowledge way. Like you're feeding your children this madness at a young age, and they're gonna grow up thinking, talking, acting like this. You think the white man is letting their kids look at that madness? No, they raised it up to be genius, to playing the piano, to playing an instrument, to knowing math, knowing algebra at 6 years old.
Yeah, playing classical music in the womb.
Yeah, but we're like, well, that's just the way you do it. It ain't got nothing to do with the way I do it. It got something to do with wisdom. How should it be done? You know, if you got a wise way, I gotta follow that. Oh dang, I didn't apply that with my kids. That's something smart. It's the wise way. Y'all get it? So, going back to the point, the example is what has to be set up. What's up, sis?
I don't know if this applies, but
yeah.
In 2 Timothy 1 and 5, and Paul has written this letter to Timothy, and he brings up a succession of people that show Timothy how to become the person he became.
Right. Okay. Well, let's go there. Let's go there after this. Let's finish this and then we'll jump over to where you're saying, because that sounds on point. Go ahead.
Grave.
Uh-huh.
Temperate.
You see that? So what are our children learning? Is he learning that I come in and I'm slamming the door because I'm angry with my wife? He sees an unsensible father, an insensible mother, right? No order, no discipline, no wisdom. It starts with examples. It starts with your example. Now, nobody's perfect. That's why I'm giving you instances in my life where those imperfections got to be perfected. So I'm not saying that we're perfect, but consciousness of what's going on is the problem. A lot of people ain't conscious that they're supposed to be the example in what you're doing and what you're saying and how you're talking, how you deal. Go ahead.
Sound in faith.
Yeah, they supposed to see that you're grave, you're temperate. A lot of sisters don't. A lot of you young sisters don't know that. They get babies, get kids, man. They're the ones that got stuck. That really, you can tell the ones that really didn't want kids. Why? Because they have no temperance with their kids. None at all.
Yeah, dragging them through the mall. I've seen it. They get upset with their kid. They drag them through the mall by one arm. And the baby's in the diapers. Yeah. Because they ain't got no patience. They're not tempered. What does it say? Read it one more time.
Good. Be aged men.
Right.
Be sober. Grave.
Right.
Temperate.
Temperate. Go ahead.
Sound in faith.
Uh-huh.
In charity.
Yeah. A lot of women don't even have charity towards their own children.
No.
They're not charitable enough. Listen.
They be beating the crap out of them, Mike.
Yeah. Beating them, but then even the neglect.
The neglect.
The neglect of...
Here, take your phone.
Yeah, take the phone.
How you like 2-3 years old know how to use the phone better than a grown-up?
Yeah, than a grown-up. I see little 2-year-olds whiz through YouTube.
Yeah.
Whiz through...
And you know what you can get on YouTube.
Yeah.
You keep clicking, you can fall into the dark web of YouTube.
Yeah, it's a dark side of YouTube. It's all YouTube bubble videos and
yeah.
stuff. But I've seen kids, that's the pacifier.
Yeah.
I seen one video on YouTube. This baby had to have been at least 6 months old.
Yeah.
They hand the baby the phone, and she sits there and she laughs. They take the phone from her, temper tantrum. I'm talking about throw herself back, crying. They pick her up, hand her the phone. She just starts smiling.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. But they're building a monster. They're building a monster.
You know why I went about it this way? Because really, it's not the kids first. It's you first. It's not the kids. You got to deal with you first and get your mind and head together. Then, you understand? Then you can work on your kids. So these got to be established in your mind. No, I'm saying, could you grab me one?
Some orange juice.
Yeah. Go on, read on.
In patience.
In what?
In patience.
You see that? Parents don't got patience. You guys want? Yeah. In patience. Go ahead.
The aged woman likewise.
Uh-huh.
That they be in behavior.
In be what?
In behavior.
Your daughter watches you. She see you roll your eyes. She see you huff and puff. What's she gonna do? Where you think the head roll came from?
And then you got the nerve to beat her when she rolls her eyes.
Yeah, girl, you ever roll your eyes at me? You doing it to your husband.
Yeah.
Right?
Like it don't make sense. Like it's hypocritical. But it happens.
You gotta establish you gotta make sure the husband and the wife, the husband, you guys got it together. That way you can be conscious now how to go about to establish a house in wisdom and understanding. And this is what we're all working on. I'm going to say it again. I'm not saying we're perfection. This is just we know for fact that the method is the word. The method is the work in the word. And my household, we're constantly battling to establish this. I'm constantly reiterating that the kids watch you. I'm constantly looking at myself knowing that the kids watch me. You see? So I got to watch what I say, how I talk. You know what I mean? What I eat, how I dress. They get all your bad habits. If all I did was order nothing but Pizza Hut, it'd be right there, Pizza Hut. Overweight, don't care about their health, don't care about their mind, don't care about their spirit, they would do what I do. I mean, I'm trying to tell you, they're computers. My kids, yeah, they like to, what we call trick, and go out and eat junk food once in a while. But Shariah herself, she just said the other day, I'm going on a salad fast. Wonder why? Because our habits are not what? Junk food. Now when she get older, maybe she can take care of herself. Y'all don't understand, it's little things. It's little things like that you establish in your house that is going to look. But if you're like, I can do what I want, I do what I feel, your kids watch you. You do what you want, you do what you feel, but they're going to pick those things up. Y'all get that?
Good.
Read. Come on.
As becoming holiness.
As what?
Holiness.
So how do I become more holy? Not as in your socks are holy or your pockets are holy, but how do I become more pure and righteous? That way my example can be seen. That's what this fight's about. All this fight's about is whether it's here, us trying to be righteous for brothers and sisters and constantly checking ourselves, looking at our mind, how we think, how we walk, how we talk, how we act. Same thing with our kids. Much more with our kids. Because they're the next generation. They're watching you. They're picking up. Y'all get this? Now, no doubt, I noticed this when I sent my kids to school. The world itself already is a bad example. So now imagine if you're a bad example. Right? Your kids got no chance. So you got to establish these things in your house. What's that, Aria?
I had a scripture to go with what we're talking about.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 22.
Proverbs 13 and 22. Then we're going to jump back, finish that, then go to the other one. Samakai said. Go ahead.
Done. It says, Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 22. A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children.
Right.
So when you look up the word inheritance, right? It's a tradition or an acquisition or possession or a condition or trait from past generations.
Right. The
only trait of the generations that we have is this word. Is our example to apply.
We're reestablishing it because the inheritance we've gained is what? Niggerism. Right. Or to be like the white man.
Right.
To be like America. To be Americano. That's your tradition. That's why I keep establishing with my kids. This is not our traditions. This is not our history. I don't care what they tell you. Our history is this. Then I show them. You got to, man. You got to overflow them with it. Why? Because they're going to school already and talking to people that relate to them. Kids that relate to them. And it's easy for those kids to get in their head and tell them something that's an inkling that, well, dang, I didn't think about that. And it can twist their mind. But if you're establishing the boundaries, the fortification, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, consciousness of the Most High, then as they get their mind messed with, they'll come back and talk to you about it. So we're reestablishing what the inheritance is. That's right on point, man. All right, go ahead and finish that up into Titus.
Good. Not false accusers.
Right, so that's it on that. We get that. Where were you saying, Samakai?
2 Timothy 1 and 5.
2 Timothy 1 and 5. Okay, read that. 2 Timothy 1 verse 5.
2 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 5.
Go ahead.
When I call to remembrance the unfeigned faith
go ahead
that is in thee.
Read.
Which dwelt first in thy grandmother.
Right. There you go. Oh, man. Oh, you are. That's cold. He said he seen it in your grandma. But grandma now is what? 27.
Trying to keep up with,
twerking.
Yeah, trying to keep up with her daughter and her granddaughter.
Yeah. Grandmama now,
like
not 27.
Yeah, she's like 46.
But still, 40 is young.
But that's the point.
Back in the days, grandma was grandma, like old.
Big mama, she was like 70.
Yeah. Nowadays, grandmama's still, you know what? The kids moved out. Girl, I ain't lost it. You think I lost it? Let me go put my effing dress on too. I want to keep up with you young hoes out there. That's how they thinking.
Grandma's going out to the club with her daughter.
To the club.
And her granddaughter.
Exactly.
Yeah, or going to the mall and shopping in Victoria's Secret with her daughter and her granddaughter. Yeah, hitting the same spots.
Yeah.
That's the mentality is, I gotta keep up. I'm young, so I'm gonna live that young, free life.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kids is out. Grandma now ain't even got no man.
Right.
Right? So she's independent.
Right.
So she's breeding that.
Yep.
To her daughter, which is breeding that down.
Yep.
I mean, that's why the scriptures say that the Most High visits the iniquity of the children from the fathers.
Yep.
Because going with that inheritance, for so long, the inheritance that's been handed down has been one of, you don't need a man for the women. And for the men, if you just have all the women in the world, pimp them, trick them, beat them, pimp them a little bit more, that's been what's been handed down. Y'all get that?
Good.
Go ahead. Read that one more time. This is called. Cause this was Paul. Yeah, he was writing to Timothy and just showing Timothy where he got his belief.
Yep.
And where he was really showing Timothy his inheritance.
Wow.
Where he got it. Go ahead, read that one more time.
That's dope.
2 Timothy.
Yeah, that was right on point.
Chapter 1 and verse 5.
Go ahead.
When I call to remembrance the unfeigned faith that is in thee.
Go ahead.
Which dwelt first in thy grandmother Lois.
So what was he telling Timothy? That listen, you had an example of there was examples of good women, of faithful women that stood up for their household. It says a wise woman builded their house. There was faithful sisters that built, that believed in the Most High through thick and thin. It said unfeigned faith, meaning that no matter what happened, guess what? It's about the Most High, right? No matter what. So when you look at that though, when you break that down, that means that this woman was in subjection with her husband, right? She ruled her household. Wow. She built her household. She dealt with her children.
Right.
It wasn't just go play outside and I'll see y'all in 8 hours.
Yeah.
Like how they do, that's how I was done.
Yeah, yeah.
Like go outside and just go play all the way from the sun come up to the sun comes down. If you make it home, fine. If you don't, we'll come looking for you. It's real. I mean, come on, man. We all about the same age up in here. We all did that. Go play till the lights came out. Just make sure you home when the lights come on. Right? Nobody was checking for you in between that time.
And they do that now. Same thing. Listen, go watch TV.
Yeah, no, now it's go to the mall and get picked up by a predator. Now I'm gonna drop you off at the mall. I don't care about you. So some predator can pick you up and bang you in the mall parking lot.
And then you can grow up, abused and hurt, and
now you can have psychological, sexual, deviant issues.
Yeah,
it's real, man. Read it one more time.
Good. When I call to remembrance the unfeigned faith that is in thee.
Yeah, go ahead.
Which dwelt first in thy grandmother Lois.
So it was in his grandmother Lois. Go ahead.
And thy mother Eunice.
The aged women. What did she do? She taught it to her daughter. You see that? She didn't say, well, it was in your grandmother Lois, and then she just forgot it.
Right.
Nah. It went from Lois to Eunice. Like how it should. Like how it should these days. Like what we're trying to come back to. I like that scripture you pulled. That inheritance. Yeah. Inheriting the right things. Inheriting the spirit. This is how, listen. And we've been dealing with it. But this is how you know if a woman's in the spirit or not. Yep. You can't fake this. That's right. Because what's going to happen is, like the scriptures say, don't credit a man before his time, because you'll know about him through his children, right? Good. This is how you know what a woman is about. When you look at her children, if they're running around little rugrats, nose running, dirty ass clothes all the time, always hungry, always begging, right? No home training. What is mom teaching? What is dad teaching? What is he inheriting? What's up?
Deuteronomy. Because we always go over
6 and 4.
6 and 7.
Read it real quick.
God,
where you at, Jeremiah? Go ahead.
God, it says, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children.
You should do what?
Teach them diligently.
Wait, half-assedly?
Diligently.
Only when you want.
Diligently.
I'm gonna just teach them a few things, but then I'm gonna get lazy. I'm gonna get into my soap operas, my novellas, all that.
diligently
Go ahead.
unto thy children.
Read.
And thou shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house.
Wait, we don't talk about Oprah?
Thou shalt teach them diligently, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house.
Well, girl, you know Will Smith is my spiritual leader.
And talk of them when thou sittest in thine house.
Go ahead.
And when thou walkest by the way.
Go ahead.
And when thou liest down.
But when we at the house, we'll talk about the Bible. When we go out in the street, it's a totally different thing.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, where there's no consistency. We were talking about this today.
That's what
we were talking about this today. And, you know, the conversation we had, it's making me reevaluate the things of my household. And where where Satan tries to enter in through the women, through the children. Because why? There's gaps that gotta be closed. There's things that have to be more consistent, starting with the men, that have to be bled over to the women and the children. It starts with us as men. How you break into a strong man's house, you bind up the strong man.
Yep.
But it's up to a woman also to be able to be that spiritual guide for her children.
Yep.
It has to be, but because you know what it really is about? And going back to the whole constraint, I can say, listen, do this, and this, but if it's not in your heart to do it, you're not going to do it. You're not going to see the benefit and why you should do it. And then you're going to wonder in 10 years why your son grew up and now he's a damn flaming faggot. Why your daughter is running around like a butch, wanting other women. You're going to really sit back and have the nerve to wonder that? When 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it was like, well, listen, pray with the kids. Make sure they read. Make sure they do this.
Nope.
Train up a child in the way you should have them.
I don't want to.
It's not even, I don't want to. Yeah, I'll do it. When you did it grudgingly,
yeah.
You did it through constraint, the Most High never accepted it.
Yeah.
See, it's deeper than, you women gotta understand, it's deeper than y'all. It's deeper than just you. You're the example for the children. I think the last couple of women classes, we've been really hitting that too. The example in the house.
Yep.
But I think that point has to be hit home even harder, because now the kids start to stray.
Yeah, like, once again,
I think, yeah.
when you deal with this question that she asked, you got to see that, as you read down in the question, well, the husband, he went this way because he had this argument or whatever. But somebody got to keep the house together.
Right.
The house, if it's not 27 and 5.
And it's like you said, keeping it together ain't just paying bills and cooking meals.
That's
ain't just cooking meals.
That's what a lot of people
and paying damn bills.
Right. A lot of people. That's that Americano mind state, but they're not remembering. Where is it? If a man keepeth his house, was it 27? Where did we go earlier?
You talking about Proverbs?
No. The one in Ecclesiasticus, it says
27 and 3.
Yeah, 27:3. It says, unless a man hold himself diligent in the fear of the Lord, his house shall soon be overthrown. And y'all don't understand that it starts. The question is coming from, now the kids are acting out. Why? Because the parents got to reestablish their minds. They got to reestablish. You got to reestablish your mind, sis. Your husband's got to reestablish his mind that following the fear, the commandments, the laws, righteousness is not contingent on another man. We do this together as a body, but if I went and start smoking crack, I don't mean Quatazazi would smoke crack with me. He's supposed to look at me and be like, brother, you're tripping. You're off. Correct me and keep in the spirit. I don't want to do that no more. I want to smoke crack forever now. Okay, that's what you chose. We keep as a body building in the right way, right? One person don't determine the truth. The truth is, and everybody's trying to live in that bubble.
But again, that's how you pinpoint the pretenders and the fakers, because it is contingent on another person. If you ain't here, it don't make no sense now.
That's how.
It don't make, that don't make no
That's
damn
how
sense.
young-minded, unlearned people think. Yeah.
That don't make no sense.
Remember, schools, all these schools are just bodies of people doing the will of the Most High. They're supposed to be getting together, doing the righteousness of the Most High. We left church because there was a body of people that weren't doing it, right?
Good.
We got the truth. It's supposed to be the workings of these things in it. Nothing's going to be perfect, but checks and balances is supposed to continually put things in order and making sure we're following the right way. Purging out the old, purging out that old leaven. We talked about that the other day. But anyway, did we finish that though? And Timothy's about...
no, finish that Timothy.
Finish that Timothy's.
Go ahead.
First Timothy, chapter 1 and verse 5, last precept.
Go ahead.
And I am persuaded that in thee also, wherefore I put thee in the remembrance. That thou...
read it again. Read that part again. And I am persuaded.
Good. And I am persuaded that in thee also.
Right. So basically, Paul was showing Timothy, like, listen, I'm persuaded that the same things that are in your grandmother and your mother, it's in you. These were handed down to you. And all Paul is doing is now just adding to it. Here, look, try this, do this way. He's adding to the faith. He's adding wisdom to his faith. You see that? That's cold.
Yeah.
Go ahead, read verse 6.
Good.
That's hard.
Read verse 6.
Wherefore I put thee in remembrance.
Go ahead.
That thou stir up the gift of Yahweh.
Right. See, that gift was that faith, that belief. He said, I'm putting you in remembrance. So stir it up. Use it. Don't just sit on it. Don't just bury your talent. Go ahead.
Which is in thee by the putting on of my hands.
Come on.
I mean, y'all get that, right? He's just he's going in now.
Yeah.
Anybody? I mean, go to now. Go to Ecclesiastes 30. Just as far as the balance, you know, the discipline with these kids. You know, as you're working on yourself and you're establishing your house, getting the pain or whatever y'all battled or whatever happened. You're making sure that don't leak over to the children. You're reestablishing the structure and the order. They gotta fall in line. They're still underage, so they gotta fall in line. So you start setting up things that's gonna put them in order, and you might it could be done the way we just talked about. They see your example, they see you rolling in that way, they following along. Sometimes kids get disobedient, out of order, self-will. You got to put structure on them, right? And that ain't foreign to the black man. That ain't foreign to the black woman. They just got to know not to be extreme in the structure, right? Go ahead.
Ecclesiasticus, chapter 30 and verse 1. He that loveth his son, causing him off to feel the rod.
Right, so sometimes you got to discipline. You're going to have to, listen, my daughter, she's like 11. She's like all the way up to my shoulder now. I'm like, you still get beat. Yeah, I'm like, I don't care. You like, turn around, you're going to get beat. You know, because, you know, they get taller and taller. But when they have to, when they get stubborn, you might have to. But like I said, I really have to put the beat down. You know what I mean? Because I have to talk with them. And you can, in other ways too, you can take their things from them. Y'all know the deal.
Okay.
Go ahead.
That he may have a joy of him in the end.
Because if you don't discipline them and start setting up these structure and order, then you're not going to have joy in these kids. These kids are going to go off. That's why it's important. Whatever pain y'all been through, whatever mental thing y'all been through, whatever body y'all were with, y'all can't let that leak out. Y'all weren't supposed to let it leak out. Y'all were supposed to always act like everything's still the same. Because it messes up the kids, man. It does. A lot of parents don't know that. Yeah.
You got a scripture to go with that one?
Oh, you just.
Yeah, go ahead.
God. Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 24. He that spareth, he that spareth his rod hateth his son.
Where you at?
Proverbs 13.
Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 24.
Go ahead.
He that spareth his rod hateth his son.
He does what?
Hateth his son.
Yeah, because just like the previous scripture said, he that loveth his son, it says he calls him off to feel the rod. Why? Because in the end, think about it. You don't beat him in the end, he'll end up like Magic Johnson's son. He'll be walking around and he'd be a 7-foot dude walking around in pumps.
Hey, listen.
Come on.
That's what I'm gonna do.
You just
I'm
show
gonna get
your
a
kids,
poster,
hang that like this.
and I'm gonna be like, listen, when y'all sisters get out of order, this is gonna be your
And
son.
then you put Uncle Sam wants you.
Oh.
And it just be Magic Johnson's son walking with a purse and some pumps.
Oh my God, this nigga's like, huh? He's
on.
like what, 7'8"?
This dude's like 7 feet tall with 6-inch heels and damn jeggings with a purse. Come on, man. Imagine Magic Johnson walking around with a purse. But see, there's no joy in that. Come on, you think Magic Johnson running through the town talking about this is my son? I've yet to see a picture of Magic Johnson with that boy. I've yet to see it. I'm just saying. Read on.
God. But he that loveth him,
go ahead,
chasteneth him betime.
Why? Because the Most High, if the Most High chastens you, he's showing you that he loves you. But if you don't, then you're what?
A bastard.
You're a bastard. Right? You unwanted. So, sisters got to get out we all have to get out of the mind that, oh, don't beat your children. Yeah, we're not supposed to be excessive, flipping the belt around, beating them with the belt buckle over their head, throwing irons at them and whooping them with metal hangers. Like, I caught all that. I mean, come on. I was bad. Whatever my mom could throw at me, she threw it. Right? And I was bigger than her, so she had to go in on me. To a point where she realized that this ain't going to affect me. She wasn't strong enough. But at the same time, I didn't take advantage of that.
That's why she needed a man there.
That's why she needed a man there to break me. But even then.
Right.
Even then. It was 3 boys. You had to break 3 boys. You feel me? But we got to see it, man, that yes, the flip side of the punishments of I'm going to take your iPad, I'm going to take this, I'm going to take that, don't work. Because after a while, they're like, yeah, man, take my stuff. I don't care.
Yeah, that's when you got to.
That's when you got to, and if they're being disrespectful and rude, that's when you got to get that belt. But it's not about being overboard and excessive.
Right.
I had to learn that also. It's not about overboardness. It's not about whooping them until they bleed and whooping them until you bleed. Right? It ain't about that. Go ahead, read on.
That was it on that one.
Oh, go jump back.
Ecclesiastes chapter 30 and verse 2.
Go ahead.
He that chastiseth his son shall have joy in him.
Go ahead.
And shall rejoice of him among his acquaintance.
Go ahead.
He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy.
This is cold. Why? Why is the enemy going to be grieved? Because now there's another person standing up for justice. You're teaching your son to stand up for the Most High. The enemy don't want that. That's why they're trying to pluck the black man out the house. That's why. Listen, I watched a video of a chick on this morning on Facebook. She was like, a real daddy. She said, my kids have a daddy. The government's my kid's daddy because a real daddy gives me shelter. I get my Section 8. I get my food stamps. Bro, she was breaking it down, and I was like, damn. You know what's crazy? There's 100 other million black chicks and Hispanic chicks that think just like her. They think just like her. Like, yeah, this is your real daddy. It's funny. The government's his daddy, but then when it's Christmas, Santa Claus is your daddy. Right. Then it's Easter, the Easter Bunny's your daddy. Whoever's bringing some gifts is the kid's daddy at that time.
It says you have sold your soul for naught.
And then it's any other man that shows up to hit it that night is his daddy.
As long as he got dough.
As long as he got some dough.
He got money.
And yeah, that's your kid's daddy. Come on, man. We got to break up out of that. But it said, he that chastises his son grieveth the enemy. Right. Because if you're showing your son, it's like what he's saying about driving with his son. And listen, where can you go to prove Christ? Where can you go to prove this? Where can you go to prove the fringes? White men don't want us knowing that. They don't want our kids knowing that. Why do you think they be shutting us down?
Nope.
Why do you think they teach certain things in school?
Why do you think that it's okay for them? You know, they got kids YouTube now.
Oh yeah, to keep their mind occupied.
They got kids YouTube.
Crap.
Yeah,
kids YouTube, kids Netflix.
Yeah, it's a kid YouTube, and you get on there and you should watch. You should watch the cartoons that they look at. Your parents don't sit down and watch.
I know it's banned, bro. I sat back and I was looking at what he was watching one day.
That's what my reel was.
And I'm like,
Shawashina was telling me that she was like, he was watching this one with the worm eat the other worm butt, and then it's like, wait a minute, do they know what you're watching?
I gotta like be like, nah, bro, no YouTube and no Netflix. If I watched a movie with him today. I watched Cars.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sit back and watch this movie with him.
Right.
But then his thing is he gets uninterested.
Yeah.
And wants to he'll run off and go play in his room. I'm like, all right, fine. But it's like when I'm around, I gotta tell my rib, nah, listen, we gotta watch whatever he's watching. You gotta watch.
Yeah.
And then you can't just let him get on the phone. No phone for him. Can't let him just run to YouTube.
Nah.
Because the dude will sit there. Listen, the dude will sit there. You know that Black Panther song with Kendrick Lamar?
Yeah.
In The Weeknd? This dude, we got in the car this morning.
He eats it up. His mind.
This dude rapped the whole lyrics to. I was like, I never even heard this song. How does he know all the lyrics? The song just, I'm like, how does he know this?
It's insane.
Yeah. Because the radio's on, this is on, this is on, he just does this.
You gotta occupy their mind with the right things. You gotta set up things that is gonna keep their mind occupied with something wise, learning. You know, I had to learn, and I'm still learning.
And it's hard.
It's
not easy.
It's you know, we're doing this in the middle, but you know, what do you like? What do you want to do? You can't just, in my house, it's just like, you can't not want to do nothing. No, you got to do something because that's what you're going to do. You're going to learn that profession. You know, and then like I was telling my son, I said, you can do whatever you want. I said, you know karate, right? He said, yeah. He said, I want to teach though. You're going to do that. And I said, you can also go do computers, right? Because he wants to build robots. Con, you're going to do that. I said, you can do whatever you want. There's no boundary.
Right.
Your boundary is your laziness. But see, we keep letting them get on, they love the video games and the Roblox and the, it's like, that's not putting your mind into anything. But that's what the white man loves for our people to do. Why? Because it's easier to shoot a brainless black or Hispanic kid out in the street. Why? Because they look at us like they're nothing.
Because why? He's out in the street.
He's out in the street doing nothing.
His son, the enemy is grieved because why? His son is out there trying to build something.
Right.
He's out there trying to put what he's learned to use. Right. You see that? Aria.
I got the subscription. I wrote this word, bro.
Real quick. I know you had a question, Yerma?
Yes. I was just gonna say, based on what you had just said.
Yeah.
My son, he goes to school every time I teach him something.
Yeah.
And he teaches his little friends and stuff.
Yeah.
But now he gets in trouble at school
for teaching.
And the teacher, they would put him outside, or even have him doing his work in the principal's office.
Yeah.
Like he couldn't sit amongst the other kids. And when I came up there to see about it and what was going on, I just told my son, and I even told the principal, which is Esau, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I already know what this is about. So I'm just gonna take my son for the day. He's gonna come with me. You know what I'm saying? Because they was starting to treat him unfairly. And the same thing with his mom, like if he's with me more than 2 days, she's already trying to get him back home. Because why? Over there she lets him do what he wants to do. When he comes back, he teaches his uncle and stuff, and they doubted him. And then like the Most High gave him some spirit because, you know, the stuff that he was teaching his uncle, I had one over with him. Wow. And his uncle said when he went to the scripture, that's what it was.
Yeah, he's grieving. Wow. Think about it. He's grieving the enemy, man, because they don't want to hear it. Right? If he's sitting there dropping it on them, they don't want to hear it. The people in school don't want him teaching against what madness they're teaching. So yeah, let's put him in the principal's office. It fits right in the scripture. Right? You see that? But we gotta make sure as a nation we're doing more of that. What you got, Aria?
All right, this is Proverbs chapter 23, verse 13 and verse
You got a lot of
14.
scriptures. You just got a lot of scriptures.
Proverbs what?
Chapter 23, verse 13 and 14.
Oh, you jumping. Okay, go ahead.
God.
Go ahead.
But I broke this word down.
Go ahead.
I looked it up. It's a nice definition.
Uh-huh.
It says, withhold not correction from the child.
Right.
Right? So when you look up that word correction, right?
Uh-huh.
It says a bringing into a conformity with a standard.
Right. Oh, yeah. That's another thing. We don't want to put standards on our children. It's like, just let them, like you said, let's let him do whatever he wants, right? Why? Because I've been working all day. I'm tired. I don't feel like dealing with him. I got my own issues. I got my own problems. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. I don't want to put up with him.
Right.
So guess what? Here's, go watch TV. Go watch TV. Go watch TV. Go watch TV. But there's no standard. There's no structure being set up to mold this child's mind.
Right.
Go ahead.
It says, for if thou beatest him with the rod, he shall not die.
Right.
Thou shalt beat him with the rod, and shalt deliver his soul from hell.
Yeah. You're going to keep him in that standard. You're going to beat him in line. You see that?
Right.
And that's what we got to understand. The flip side is they got to get that physical. Children, come on, man, they're kids.
Yeah.
I don't even have to beat. Like my daughter, I don't even got to beat her. I just talk to her and she
Right.
can break down.
Right.
But Noah,
You
I got to whoop him. He's a boy. He's hard-headed. He thinks that he knows something. He's young. So I touch that booty. I have to. 'Cause I don't want him to be a homosexual. I don't want him to think that it's okay to wear women's clothes and women's purses and be a whoremonger. I don't want him to think that these things are good. So I got to check him early. Because if I don't, what's going to happen? He's going to turn 18 and be bigger than me. I'm going to be a 50-year-old brittle-ass man. He's going to be 18, young, trying to fight me. I'm watching YouTube videos. You got these
sons knocking out their
dads. Like, what the hell's going on? You knocking out your dad on YouTube?
There's a wicked generation, man. The Most High,
bruh.
These kids
crazy.
They wicked.
Yeah, it's like a new thing. Like, it's just videos of dudes knocking out their pops.
They more wicked than
ever.
Yeah.
And it's gonna get
or
even
maybe
more wicked.
maybe we just got YouTube to
show
realize
everything.
the madness that's out there.
Yeah. So it's really about looking out for our kids, but also looking out for ourselves, because the joy. Think about it. Think about as you get older as a parent, and you're not able to do certain things for yourself. What's the one thing a parent always wants? Not to be tossed in some damn nursing home, but for their children that they raised and took care of, to be there for them and to help them. But it's one thing if your kid is so caught up in himself because she didn't learn charity and love and long suffering and patience. They ain't gonna be there for you. They're gonna throw you right in the nursing home or let you rot wherever the hell you at. You just gonna be rotten, right? Getting beat up by the nursing staff. Nobody checking on you, nobody visiting you. There's no joy in that. So we got to understand that the things that we put into our children now, it's really for our benefit in the end. It's really for us as older people, as we get older. We got to see that.
Jump down to verse. Read down.
Yeah. Ecclesiastes chapter 30 and verse 3. Second precept. And before his friends he shall rejoice of him. Though his father died, yet
why is he going to be able to rejoice before his friends? Because think about it. What parent rejoices over a wicked-ass child? What parent is sitting there boasting? Like, mostly parents are boasting that what? My son's a doctor. He's a lawyer. He did this. He did this. He went on this trip. He made this happen. Ain't nobody boasting that their son is a damn drug dealer unless you're an idiot and ignorant. Ain't nobody boasting about how, oh, my son got 50 women and 1,000 kids and can't take care of none of them. Ain't nobody boasting about that unless you're ignorant just like your children. But see, a man is going to boast of his children that are doing something productive. Anybody that has a child that's productive, they want to put that out there in the airwaves. But think about the ones that they got like 4 or 5 kids and they always got that one messed up kid that's either on drugs or selling drugs. He's shunned to the side. Ain't nobody talking about him. Ain't nobody bringing him up. And when you do, it's like, oh, no, don't talk about him. Or, you know, he on the same old thing. He doing the same old thing. What's up with Lil Ray Ray? You know how Lil Ray Ray is. Ray Ray's just going to be Lil Ray Ray. Right? Why? Because there's nothing to boast about. There was no wisdom instilled into him. Nobody's going to sit around and talk about how much drugs he's selling, and how many women he got, and how many kids he don't take care of. But a man with wisdom, with knowledge, with understanding, that's going to be talked about. That's going to be lifted up. Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 30 and verse 4. Though his father died, yet he is as though he were not dead.
Why? Because he built a replica of himself. If this man was whether righteous or wicked, whether putting the right things in him or the wrong things, we build little replicas of ourselves. Carbon copies. That's what children are. They're carbon copies of ourselves until they learn for themselves what they want to do. Go ahead.
For he had left one behind him that is like himself.
Go ahead.
While he lived, he saw and rejoiced in him. And when he died, he was not sorrowful.
Go ahead.
But left behind him an avenger.
A what?
An avenger.
A sissy.
Avenger.
A homosexual.
An avenger.
Go ahead.
Against his enemy.
Why? Because he put that wisdom in him to show him this is how you fight the enemy. This is how you build. This is how you build a nation. This is how you treat a woman. This is how you raise your children. He left an avenger. He didn't leave some little sissified man that all he wants to do is go jump on stage, sing, and play sports. What's up?
Like King David did before he died.
Like David did before he died.
And he told Solomon about his enemy.
Yeah. Just like when Joseph brought his the 12 sons, the 12 tribes.
Jacob.
Yeah,
Jacob. I don't know why I said Joseph. When Jacob brought his sons, what did he do? He let them know what was going to befall them. He let them know things that they should have known. He didn't just leave them hanging. Y'all understand that? Go ahead, read on.
And one that shall requite kindness to his friends.
He should be what?
Requite kindness to his friends.
Go ahead.
He that maketh too much of his son shall bind up his wound.
Go ahead.
And his bowels will be troubled at every cry.
Go ahead.
And horse not broken, becoming headstrong.
You know what it means by making too much? It's showing you is that you got to acknowledge your kids' imperfections. You got to know where they're at. You see what I'm saying? You got to know where they stand. You can't make it like, well, my son, woo, he the wisest. He's not. They got a lot of things in them. You know what I mean? They got things that they're influenced by. Like I said, just sending my kids to school, from teaching them at home to school, now them going to school, they're picking up all kind of bad traits. I'm like, where'd you learn that from? I'm like, you didn't learn that from us. The scriptures don't teach that. You're learning this from school. They got demons over there, right? They got demons, man. My kids their connection, the bond and brotherhood and sisterhood were way better. When they went to school, it's a demon. They teach them how to hate each other. And the kids are so damn cruel to each other. You got to defend yourself, and you got to kind of, if you're not wise, you start acting like them. And that's what's coming. I'm like, wow, man. But you got to know what they are, what they're dealing with. You got to know this. Go ahead.
And a child left to himself.
Read verse 8.
Yeah.
God. Ecclesiastes chapter 30 and verse 8. And horse not broken, becoming headstrong.
Yeah, because now he thinks that he can do whatever he wants. It's just like a child. You got to break them, especially if they're starting to pick up things that you didn't give them, bad traits. You got to break that out of them. How do you break a horse? You got to ride them down. I be asking these little cowboys, how you break a horse?
Ride him down.
You got to ride him down. You got to ride him and ride him and ride him and show him. You got to ride him down.
Yep.
You got to ride him, and so it's like a child. You got to ride a child. You got to always be correcting. Nope, don't do that. Nope, don't talk like that. Nope, don't hit. Nope, don't say that. Nope, we don't do that. to the point where they might hate you for it at a point, but it's for their benefit because they don't understand. Go ahead.
And a child left to himself will be willful.
He'll be what?
Willful.
Yeah, all you moms that just throw your kid in front of the TV while you go off and do whatever the hell it is that you do. I don't know, you know, whatever it is, whatever it may be, involve your kid. Involve the children. They can be involved in what. Listen, if you're doing dishes, you mean to tell me that a 4-year-old can't sit there and watch you do dishes or help you put the dishes in the dish rack or just have a conversation while you're doing it? But the problem is you're so caught up in, we're so caught up in ourselves as adult humans that we forget that, hey, let me include my child. Well, I always try to include my son in what I'm doing because I don't have enough time with him, I feel like. So whatever I'm doing, it don't matter. If I'm sweeping, I'm like, listen, man, I'm going to show you how to sweep. If I'm doing dishes, come here. I'm going to show you something. If I'm going outside to just walk and check the mail, it's like, man, come learn how to check the mail. Come learn something that doesn't involve you sitting in front of an electronic.
It goes back to the parents that they themselves haven't grown up, right? The mother haven't grown up. The father haven't grown up. The ones that come in, you know what I mean, that really don't want to be bothered with the seed that they brought forth. And you know what funny thing is? It be the ones that want to have so many kids.
No, it'd be the one that always profess their great love for their children. It's like, I love my kids. Really? And why you just dragging them through BS? Why you ain't teaching them nothing?
Yeah.
Why you ain't showing them the right way to do things? And yes, they be the ones that want to have all the kids.
Yeah.
But not really.
We know this chapter is going into a lot of other things, but the point of going here is that you got to discipline your kids. We're showing both sides. Be the example, show the character, the standard, deal with them sensible, but then when they get out of line, you gotta know when to come in and how to discipline them and correct them. So that's what this is. That's what we're saying right here. Now let me ask this, because this kind of went into a whole class. I'm hoping this helped out the sister on her question. We kind of went
a long time ago.
Yes. Now, as far as the other themes, sis, you gotta let go of whatever battles your husband went through. He needs to understand that that's the trial of his faith. That everybody's gonna go through a battle, but that can't change him for doing his service in the spirit of the Most High. It can't change you. You still got the duties that the Most High have called us for. So you can't let those things break you and make you bitter. We get that spirit all the time, man. We deal with that all the time. There's brothers in here, we dealing in a body. This brother offends that brother. This sister offends that sister. But that's the whole point of the Bible, is to use the Bible to get past the offenses. Not to be like, well, yeah, that brother offended me, I'm done with this. No, you're supposed to be, okay, he offended me, what next? Matthew's 18. Like, we can almost, I'm sure every sister in here can probably pull Matthew's 18, because that's one scripture, the process we constantly drill into their head. A lot of brothers and sisters that come into bodies, they don't realize that it's not like the world. You don't just get up and have one issue and then pack your bags and leave. If that's the case, dude, how many times I'm going to offend you and you're going to offend me? We would have been gone. You know what I mean? We would have been, we knew each other, we've known each other. Brothers have known each other for so long, tens of years. And it would have been like, what's your problem? Oh, you offended me. I'm out. You got to see that.
Off the first offense.
Yeah. Like, now this generation, and we were talking about it today, imagine if back then, we were dealing back then, and y'all were in this generation mind. Yeah. It wouldn't have been nobody, no survivors.
There'd have been no school.
There'd have been no school. But, you know, we get past through those things, man, and we work on them, and we understand each other more. So, y'all gotta get past those things and keep fighting. You know, and like I said, wherever you at, you know, I don't know what happened, and I don't really want to go into all that, but you know, you still got the work to do. You gotta get in it. All right. So, did we have any other questions on there? Because like I said, I know the whole class went. We got 30 minutes. That's why I stopped there. Any other ones?
Yeah, it says, where is the scripture that speaks about the enemy restoring that which was lost? Ezekiel 33 and 15.
Yeah, Ezekiel. Get it from
Ezekiel 33 and 14.
Ezekiel 33 and 14.
Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 14.
Yeah, they wanted to know where that was at. So what's the next question? They just wanted to know where it was.
Yeah, they just want to know where it was. Ezekiel 33, 14 down to 16.
Yeah.
The next one. I think there was any other ones.
No?
Did you guys answer the one about
What?
Oh.
Numbers 15:38?
Oh, that's further up, right? They cut off from me. Yeah, she was asking about. I looked at it too when I was driving up. She asked Numbers 15:38, and she was saying that she heard that the color blue is violet. Numbers 15.
Color blue.
You know when it says make the river blue? Yeah, but when you go into the definition, it tells you it's a spectrum. Of color. Violet is red all the way to a deep purple.
A violet.
The color, or the color blue in Hebrew.
Right. Yeah, I think we did go over that one. Yeah.
Because he had.
So what's her?
She was just saying that she heard that.
Right.
I guess, is it true or?
I mean, if you go to the scripture, what does it say though?
The scripture says blue.
Right. So.
Right. And then there it is.
Go ahead. Let's go there.
Oh,
right.
No, I was gonna have a scripture to just by what you was just saying to her, what it said in the scripture.
Right. Go ahead.
Which one?
Where you at?
Okay, Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 11. For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to his people.
Right.
Because we know, we're learning Hebrew, right? But we here in America, and what language do we know and speak every day?
Right.
So that's what we came to the truth learning was in English. So.
Right. You know, and the thing is this: we gotta understand that even blue is blue, man. Am I tripping here, or are they trying to say that blue is not blue? Is it really that?
They're not understanding that it's saying the word blue here, covering spectrum from brilliant red through deep purple. So
how blue is created?
I don't know why it even comes up.
Yeah, because
the definition.
Yeah, you're looking at the definition in that, and the thing is this, that however blue is created, or what colors you mix to make blue, you know, blue is blue. You still have to, you know how you used to do in school, you mix these colors and
it's a primary color.
Blue's a primary color, so you use that to mix to another.
Red, blue, and yellow. Those are primary.
And you use those to mix to make other colors.
So, but the point is blue is blue. Right?
Like
I'm like lost for a second.
No, read her bottom question after. She was saying that she heard that blue is violet. Right?
Blue is violet.
She said, I had a merchant say that the Hebrew word that is translated as blue is really violet. So somebody said it's really translated as violet. In Hebrew.
Takalat.
Well, either way, no matter what, blue is still inside of that whole spectrum of colors. It's blue is in there. It tells you blue.
You know what? Since this is the second time they came up, let me look into it in Hebrew. You know what I mean? Now, really look into it. I want to see what they're saying, because one thing is this, that like we always say this, and we're not just making this up as we go. When you add when you got these what do you call them?
Commentaries.
Commentaries. sometimes these commentaries don't be on point. Like the other one where they said Esau is no.
Ishmael was Median.
That what Ishmael was Midian, but they got the other one that when it says in Hebrew, it don't say Edom, it says
it says
Aram. Yeah. And it's all that how they read the insert. It ain't got nothing to do with the scriptures. In Hebrew it said Edom, but they read the insert, and because it said translated from this and that, they mixed it up thinking, oh, that don't really mean Edom. So you got to watch these commentaries. In saying that, let me go over it in Hebrew, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually look in the Hebrew and look at the word, not what they said about it, what it says in Hebrew. Yeah.
I was going to say, the reason I had ignored that, even though when I had seen that, was because even in the scripture, when the Most High was giving Moses the commandments about the tabernacle, it used the word scarlet as well. You know what I'm saying? So we knew even in the English it was still saying scarlet too when they were talking about the scarlet badger skin.
Right.
And all that.
Yeah, we use different colors. I see what you're saying though. Like if he meant to say this color, he would have said that color. Right. But you know, just for edification purposes, it's good to like go through it through 3 Hebrew Bibles and be able to look at that word and then break that word down as opposed to what their commentary is saying. The commentary is saying that, not the Bible. Because the Bible is giving you a specific color. What's that?
So, when you look it up in the My Sword, the blue, it says Takalath. But then when you look it up in the Hebrew to English dictionary, Takalath is blue.
Takalath, yeah.
So it doesn't say like...
It doesn't say this. That's why I said the commentary is adding the extra where people are like, well, this is what this is. Nah, it's not like that, yeah.
And violet, if it would say violet is Sagarla or something like that. Or it's Sagarala.
Sagarala. Sagarala, which is...
No, I'm sorry, Sagawala.
Sagawala, which is...
Violet.
Violet. Okay. So blue in Hebrew is what?
Takamat.
Takalath?
Takalath.
Yeah. So it is, yeah.
And when you look up violet, it just tells you that violet is a color between blue and purple.
Right.
That's what it is. It's just a color between blue and purple.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, see, and that's once again, the commentary is complicating it when the scripture says it's the simplicity in Christ. It said blue. It didn't say violet.
Right.
If it said violet, it would have used the violet word in Hebrew, not blue.
Not the blue, right.
Yeah, so, you know, once again, I mean, that was easy. Once again, you know, I'm still going to go into it too, but watch the commentaries, please, because it will confuse y'all. They add little things, little side notes that is confusing sometimes. So what else we got?
If the laws and commandments are health to the body and marrow to thy bones, is any sickness or disease a sign of either lacking faith or not being right with the Most High?
That's a good one. That's a good one. So read it again.
If the laws and commandments are health to the body and marrow to thy bones,
right?
Is any sickness or disease a sign of either lacking faith or not being right with the Most High?
So let's ask this. Has there been men of faith that have been ill?
Done.
So you can't necessarily say that because you lacked faith or lacked the commandments that you fell ill. There's men that have been ill. Paul.
Job.
Hezekiah?
Remember when he was sleeping in bed and then he was so
Right, Hezekiah.
And he started praying to the Most High.
Yeah, but I think their argument with that can say, well, he lacks something. I mean, Hezekiah specifically.
Right.
You know what I mean? But when you go back to Job, you know what I mean? It said Job was perfect and upright. You know what I mean? And even when you read Job, you see his faith didn't waver. So, nah, that's not, you can't necessarily say that. Now,
Cat's like,
I mean, but at the same time, if you're wicked, you fall into the hands of the physician. The scriptures tell you that.
well, if you don't obey the commandments,
You fall in the hand of the physician.
Yeah,
So, but to say everybody that's sick is because they're wicked, you can't say that. Sometimes you fall into things, and things come upon you. It could be trials and tribulation. Paul, go back to Paul. It said he had a thorn in his side. He had something bothering him to where he went and asked the Most High to take it away. And he said, my grace is sufficient. So Paul was a faithful man. Paul turned to righteousness. Why didn't the Most High, as he turned to righteousness, take all these things off of him? Yeah, he kept it on him. I mean, but then again, if you want to widen the spectrum, who's just? Like, did Paul deserve it? Yeah, he deserved it. Look what he did in the past. But even though the Most High wiped it clean, you know, who is just? Who is clean in the eyes of the Most High? What man is clean? None. So, but when you get that, you come back and narrow it down and get technical with it. It's not just, it's not because a person is wicked, they get sick. You know, there's certain reasons, yeah.
I was gonna say,
there's many other reasons, yeah.
I was going to say, you have Epaphroditus, the brother in Philippians, where he was near to death doing the work through his sickness.
Right.
So, I guess affliction sometimes.
Right, yeah. Go there, though. Let's go to, go to Corinthians. It's in Corinthians. Let's get it. Corinthians.
yeah.
No, it's the one I got the wrong one. It's the one where he says, he said, it's in my head, but it's not in my tongue. It's
Is it about the one that I just said?
What?
I don't know if you were trying to get the one that I had just said.
What did you say?
About the brother that was known to death?
No, not that one. I'm talking about the one in Corinthians where Paul goes through the list of things that we have to go through. But there you go. 6. 2 Corinthians 6 and 4. 2 Corinthians 6 and 4. Yeah, I was.
Yeah, 6 and 4.
Come on.
1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 4.
If then ye have judgments of things pertaining to this life.
2 Corinthians 6, 4.
2 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 4.
Go ahead.
But in all things,
Read.
approving ourselves as the ministers of God.
So Paul's going to run down this list of different things that's going to give us this approval from the Most High. As being ministers, as being shown worthy and capable to preach the word and to teach others. You got to remember, just going along with the question, people get sick for a reason, to be an example to others to show them that they can fight. It ain't that I'm lacking faith or I'm wicked.
It ain't every time.
Yeah, every time I'm wicked or every time the Most High is checking me, he might put that on
every time.
Yeah, he might have put that on you for you to be an example on how to fight.
And you know why? Why? Because why we can say that is because as we read, you're going to see.
Right.
As, well, look what happened to Paul. Look what happened to Job. Look what happened to other men in the Bible that things befell them.
And what did they have to do?
Right.
That's the thing. Did they give up? What were they the example of?
You know why this is hitting me, because, and as we're talking about it, you know, brothers used to say that that's on you because you're wicked. You know, oh, this is happening to you because you're wicked. But the scriptures tell you that death, how do you know who dies and what they die for? Now, we know that the fire, famine, pestilence, beasts, the sword, the Most High said punishing the wicked, right? But then there's other people that die too. You see that?
Yeah.
So,
and they said that he brought them out so that they wouldn't be tainted further by the world.
Exactly.
The wisdom of Solomon. So it's all about getting that balance.
It's all about, really, you don't know.
You don't, that's what I'm saying.
You don't know. You don't know unless you can see this man. Unless you see this man doing some wickedness, then you can be the judge and say, wait a minute. Okay, this dude was drug dealer. He was selling crack.
And he got shot in his
That's
face.
obvious.
Yeah, he got shot in the face on the block. But what was he doing?
Right, wickedness.
Wickedness, yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. But like you get brothers. Oh, this brother died. Well, he died for what though? How did he die? And was it just because he was wicked? You know what I mean? You get brothers that die of sore diseases. You know what I mean? So it ain't, you can't judge things like that. But read on.
2 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 4.
Right.
But in all things, approving ourselves as the ministers of God, in much patience, in afflictions.
There you go. So you being a minister, you're going to be afflicted with things. You know? You're going to be afflicted with a bad knee. You're going to be afflicted with, listen, you was in the world and you drank none but liquor all your life, came in the truth, but you didn't know you had a kidney ailment. But as you were in the truth, yeah, you stopped, but you still had that kidney ailment, and you might pass because that's there. You see that? But you're doing the work. So,
because it's really about, I look at it like this. And if you're doing the work and you're catching these afflictions, it's what shall separate you from the love of the Most High?
Right.
What shall separate you from Christ? Is it my knee injury? Or is it the fact that I'm going to push through that? Watch this. Go to, real quick, go to, just hold where you at. Go to 2 Timothy 3 and verse 11. Because this is the example that Paul left. Yeah, we know Paul messed up in his past life. It's no different than a brother that learned not to eat pork. Right?
Good.
But what did he do for 30 years?
Ate pork.
Ate pork. So guess what? Now that he's 40 and he's only got a 1 year clean slate of not eating pork, he might come with some ailments. He gonna come. This is like he said with the drinking. You've been drinking your whole life. Your liver is swelled up like a balloon. You come into the truth. You learn. Okay, let me chill on my drinking. Guess what happens? So you still have that sugary liver that never went down because you're still recovering.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have some of those ailments. Do you just give up on the truth?
Lie.
Or do you say, you know what, let me keep applying? The scriptures say, yeah, the word of the Most High is health to thy bones and marrow. Marrow to thy bones and health to thy navel. Right? It says the word heals all. How though? Because it's as simple as this. This is how I look at it. It's as simple as this. I learned not to eat pork, and when I stopped, my body started to repair itself. I learned to not smoke cigarettes. When I stopped, my lungs started to repair itself. But guess what? If I keep smoking, I'm damaging myself. I'm bringing these ailments. So it's showing you that you can come up out of some of these ailments. But read where we at. So, 2 Timothy 3 and verse 11.
2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 11.
Read that.
Persecution.
What?
Persecution.
Go ahead.
Affliction.
Read.
Which came unto me at Antioch.
So this is Paul. He was showing us persecutions and afflictions that came. Go ahead.
At Iconium.
Go ahead.
At Lystra.
So he was giving you all these different places where he was just catching hell. Read on.
What persecutions I endured.
Wait, he ran from?
which persecutions I endured.
Man, I just can't do the truth no more because the Most High is just hidden.
What persecutions I endured.
Paul said he endured. Paul was blinded, shipwrecked, right? He was jumping out of windows, right? He had a thorn in his side.
He was stoned.
He was stoned, but he said he endured. This was the example. Go ahead.
But out of them, all the Lord delivered me.
How? How did he deliver him? Through Paul keeping the commandments. Through Paul trying to live righteous. Through Paul doing the right thing. That's how. That's how we're delivered. That's how you deliver from your high blood pressure, your sugary, fatty liver, your hypertension, your thyroid problems, keeping the dietary law. How you're delivered from all your mental issues and all these different defects that we have by knowing how to treat each other civilly and going to your brother. And it's all the things that the Most High laid down. So it really is marrow and health. Think about it. And One brings it out a lot, where he had a book, and it said that a lot of people's problems came from holding grudges and stress.
Oh, yeah.
It's like that monkey on your back. Why? Because you're grudgeful. You're stressed the hell out. You hate your brother. You hate your sister. But see, the scriptures tell you not to grudge. Not to hate one another. Once you release that, it's like, damn, the weight of the world is off my shoulders. You feel like you done lost 1,000,000 pounds. Now you can move around more free in the spirit. You can deal with your family better. You can deal with your kids better. But see, when you're not following the simple things like grudge not one against another, guess what happens? You bring discord into your life.
Right.
Now you bring physical ailments to yourself.
Yep. I see it.
Go to Wisdom of Solomon real quick. Go to Wisdom of Solomon. I know I'm jumping around.
Wickedness darkens the countenance.
See?
It darkens your countenance.
Go to Wisdom of Solomon. You know where I want to go, somebody, where it talks about the
So yeah, you're right on that, because the scripture's right on that.
Yeah.
The wisdom is the knowledge is
3:11.
Health and marrow to your bones.
No.
But at the same time, it's everybody that has a ailment or something. It don't mean that they're just off.
Right.
They're wicked or they lack faith in every arena, because you're gonna still have that in the body. You're gonna still have sisters and brothers with ailments that have a lot of faith, right?
And their faith is what they use to get past it.
Yeah, and they have a lot of faith.
No, you don't have to get it. Y'all don't have to get it.
I can add some.
Read verse 12 real quick, and then you can get yours. Read verse 12. Where you at?
It's the 2 Timothy's.
Oh, that's it. That's it on that. What you have your mind?
Going back to tying to the one you just had to read. Psalms 34:19.
Go ahead.
Many are the afflictions of the righteous.
Yeah. Many are the what?
Afflictions of the righteous.
Many are the afflictions, and they're going to come in different ways. They're going to come through physical. Think about it. Our work, the work that we do, it requires us what? To do what? Get up off our butts and get up in people's faces and go here and travel here and move around here and run around here. So Satan knows if you can't do that, then you're not really going to be effective. So what does he have to hit? If he can't hit your mind, what does he got to hit? You got to hit the body. You got to hit your flesh. So again, it doesn't mean that a man is wicked or unfaithful because Satan is hitting him. It could be like Priest Kazak said, he could be super faithful and really dedicated and diligent, and Satan is like, well, let me try his flesh now to break that consistency, to break that diligence. But it says, many are the afflictions of the righteous. Go ahead.
But the Lord delivered him out of them all.
Yeah, but the Most High is going to deliver. Because you know what it always does? It always humbles a man, and it always keeps him looking at, how do I improve myself? It's even me. If I eat certain foods, I know what affects me. Right. I'm just going to use the food. So I'm always looking up ways not to beat the system, but I'm always looking up ways to keep my mind diligent on discipline. And that's going to help me across the board, though. If I can discipline myself in food, then I can discipline myself here, and here, in different aspects. So I'm always looking at different ways to do it. I'm always looking at what's affecting me negatively where I can't perform the way I know I should be performing.
Right.
So it goes into, you got to examine yourself. The Most High always wants us to continually examine ourselves and look at what we're doing.
And you know, the word is supposed to be healing on all levels. Mm-hmm. So growing and making sure we take care of our body, our mind, and our spirit, mm-hmm. that's going to bring us and get us more healthy, more better, you know, in everything we do. Yeah. You know, just a lot of times, there's brothers that are not, it's like Paul. They can eat right, they can do right, but there's just an affliction on them that the Most High has on them, and they got to keep fighting with that on them. Yeah.
And it's funny you had said that. I had kind of recognized that within myself. Yeah. Because, and it made sense, a lot of sense what you were saying too on the Sabbath about when you go from eating bad, yeah, and then you start doing good, your body's gonna get sick. Yeah. And then I started noticing, because that happened when I first came into the truth. Mm-hmm. But then now I was like, okay, I'm eating good, I'm keeping the commandments, I'm doing this and doing that. And no matter what, my skin just keeps troubling me. Right. And I just think about like the scripture with Paul. I was like, oh, okay, if the Most I say he won't. Because I remember when I was in the world, my skin was everything to me because I was always walking around. Right. I like to wear my shirt off. Right. So it's like now it's like the Most High keep me humble and keep me from being heavy. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I was like, okay. And that's how it is. It don't mean that, you know, you're wicked. It could just be the Most High is using this to see where your heart's at. Right.
Yeah. What's gonna be? What do brothers try to use for their out?
Because you got brothers, man, that use sicknesses as an excuse. You know what I mean? You got sickness as an excuse, and the thing is that there is no excuse. There's no reason. You know, but that much more is why we got to be wise to take care of ourselves. You know, I'm not going to say who it was. I was just telling her the other day that, you know, you got to take care of your health, your body. You know, I say it was my rib. But, you know, she got the C-section. She got to realize that the C-section is pulling down on her stomach. But when your abs, your legs, your calves, your body, your back can't support, you got this stomach pulling you. It's not drastic, but it's pulling you. It's making pain on you. My back, I was having a lot of pain until I started strengthening my legs, my calves, my thighs, right? And then I start feeling more strength in my body. I start strengthening my back. You see what I'm saying? You gotta take care of yourself too. Because, like he said, if we're doing all this, Satan is trying to come every way to break you down. I remember crawling to my rib when my back went out, screaming like, help me. That's how my back went out. It was bad. You know what I mean? But the Most High there's a method. There is a way. There is a way for a lot of these things. And, you know, we got to find it. We got to use wisdom.
Discipline, man.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. Fasting and prayer answers everything, though. I'll put it like this. You can have AIDS. If you fast 40 days, 40 nights, I'm just messing with you. That's a joke.
That's possible.
That's a joke. No. Listen, yeah, it'll do for you, but I'm you know, when there's certain diseases, like, you can fast.
You gotta go to Esau for the
blood. You gotta go get some medicines.
You gotta go get Magic Johnson's blood.
Yeah, right.
What's up, Si?
Now, I got a scripture for you, Rob, what you're saying.
Go ahead. Yeah.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 37 and verse 27. And it's on down. It says, my son, prove thy soul in thy life, and see what is evil for it, and give not unto it.
Right.
It says, for all things are not profitable for all men, neither hath every soul pleasure in everything.
Yeah, see, I might have a back problem, which I do, but so I know that I can't drink a lot of liquor. It dehydrates my joints, because when I get dehydrated more, that's when my back locks up on me. I got to know that. With you might still got a young liver, a young back. You can do that. You can sip a little more. I messed that up. Why? Because overindulging, right? So now I got to pay for those consequences. Now I don't get to indulge at all, right? So, so yeah, you got to know what's good for you. The thing is that if we learn this at the beginning, how to use wisdom and understanding, we can live life longer. Because that's what it's about, living life longer and doing more works in the will of the Most High. Moses was 120 and his eyes didn't dim.
God.
That means that he had it says his natural strength never abateth him. That means he was like a 20-year-old in a 120-year-old body. That's powerful. Yeah, but once again, the command, huh?
I said Joshua too. Because when they went into the promised land.
Right, Joshua too.
And he was like, he felt like he was still in his youth.
Yeah, man. You know, but it says the commandments are a tree. Is like a tree of life. Like we get if we use the wisdom, use the laws, commandments, and the concept, the ideas of the scriptures, then we wouldn't be making these choices and bad decisions. But
dealing with the repercussions.
repercussions.
I like what you said about using it early. It's
Yeah.
like we've been talking about. Train up your child the way you would have them.
Because if we teach them.
Yeah, you be having your sons living to 120, 130.
Exactly.
And not dealing with all the ailments physically that we deal with.
Yeah, because, man, if I could go back.
Because all we're doing is what?
All the McDonald's.
Oh, God. We used to eat.
As a kid.
Bro,
no, I'm talking about as a kid, too, and all the terrible foods and then the drinking when you got older. I would go all back and just be like, nope, I'm not messing with none of that.
Because all we're doing now as older men is just repairing.
Yeah.
Trying to repair damage, but then every little thing you add to it, you take 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah, because which one of us, and we're still kind of talking about this question, which one of us don't got ailments?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
right.
But you know, I mean, we're not out there doing nothing wicked. Right. So, is it wrong? Is it lack of faith, or is it the repercussions of what the hell you did without the knowledge?
Yeah, a lot of it is that too.
A lot of it is that. You know, man, I see brothers still eating bad and not taking care of their body and not taking care of their mind, and you know, so yeah. All right. Is that it? That was a good question, class, man. We kind of went long on the sister's question, but I'm hoping we helped her on that, man. What we got?
It said if Noah's family was the only family after the flood, it seems like his descendants turned from the Most High rather quickly if there were already nations that were against the Israelites soon after.
This is a process. You're reading it as a story. You're reading it as from page to page and not understanding this happened over a process of time. Yeah. Think about it. Yeah, Noah had people had to come from those children.
And generations.
And generations and generations. Yeah. So
it took time.
It took time. It took time. It just didn't happen overnight. Yeah. It's like when we read, you read the book of Job. You read the book of Job and you read, this happened to him, and you thinking like literally the next day or the next moment, not understanding that this was a process of time that Job was getting hit in his life. You know what I mean? And then the Most High brought these things back. It wasn't just like we read a lot of the stories and don't understand. Like even going back to David and Solomon, you gotta understand this was how much time period from what time period David ruled to Solomon came in. But when you read it, you're reading it as
it was years.
20 pages, and you're thinking like, oh, this went quick.
Yeah, that was like 2 days.
Nah,
years. David was a
years,
child,
yeah.
So
I was gonna say because even the building of the ark, the building of the Noah's Ark took 100 years.
Right. Yeah. It wasn't just overnight.
Right. And then David, when he started as a kid, all the way until he died, he was like 70 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. But the way we read the stories, we can read it so fast. It's just the fact that we can read it so fast, it seems like it all happens fast. So yeah, it's just really about understanding that it took longer than 5, 10, 15 minutes.
There was questions that people had that got skipped because we went to the sister and missed those.
Okay, yeah, we'll probably have to come back to it. I can't.
That we just skipped them on.
Yeah, if we didn't get to your question, because we did take a little bit longer on that on the sister's question. What we'll do, what's tomorrow? Friday's class. Hold your questions till Friday. Remember, we got the Passover coming up on Sunday. Alright? So again, if you want to donate anything to that, feel free. If you want to attend, listen, if you can't donate and you still want to attend, come on down. There's room for everybody. That's going to be on Sunday, right? April 1st. That's Sterling Banquet Hall. Alright? So remember the Passover. You want to definitely get together for that. Alright? Any other questions? Go ahead and hold those until Friday. We definitely want to thank everybody that's helped us out, that's donated. We want to thank everybody that's been sticking through with all these classes. We appreciate it. Share, like, subscribe. Alright? And with that, we just want to say shalom.
Shalom!
Rise and face the east. What's up, bro?
What's up with you?
What you doing in the back? Oh, okay. Did you clean up?